diplomacy is that it's not necessarily like overtly threatening. Like it could
No.
be
Gunslinger diplomacy.
well,
You're
like
you're brandishing.
in the fact that if you're using leadership with it, it's like you're using it as a display of your authority. If you're using coercion, you're using it threateningly. If you're using charm, maybe it's a flourish or something like that to be impressive. You know what I mean? It's not always necessarily like I'm going to kill you with this thing.
Says the
And
guy
yet
who
that
would bring
threat
the
is still
sword into
there.
the conversation.
What'd you say?
I said coming from the guy who used his sword to help increase his intimidation.
Right.
Well-
You're brandishing. However you're doing it, you're brandishing a weapon.
That is true. Yes.
Just think
So
how the
there
old
is an
samurai would just
implied,
shake their
however
thumb.
charming you may be, you're implying injury.
Yep. So it's the old samurai thumbing your sword where you pull it out that half inch to shake the blade loose.
Yeah. I mean, you're implying injury whether you're smiling or not. So.
You're not implying to offer your family swords to them.
And in the United States, it is illegal to brandish.
Well, that's
So-
why it's gunslinger. It's the Wild West here.
It's that gangster pulling up his coat line to show you he's got a pistol in his pants.
Yep.
You got a pistol in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Yes,
not
on
both?
both counts.
Why not both?
So, yeah, fun.
I could not take it.
It's good.
Considering the trail I left on the last go round.
It's fitting into the motif you're coming up with a character.
Yep. And by the way, I just want to point out last session that it was something like did a vigilance roll against the young lady we're now escorting, and she had 4 reds stacked against me.
God.
That's it. Just not right. That was the 2 despair in 1 roll action.
Think of it as a high-ranking member of a very disciplined race.
Yeah, that was just craziness.
Don't let a Letnev from the Mentak Coalition convince you how disciplined their race is.
Well, I'm nowhere near that good, but I have 2 yellow and a green at least. But yeah, 4 red. That was a shock, to be sure.
That was freaking ridiculous, yes.
Like, my jaw dropped when I saw what I was rolling against.
And technically, didn't I burn a story point for that?
I don't think so. I mean, I can scroll back. I just was looking at it. And of course, now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. No, you did not burn a story point for that. That is apparently straight up what it was.
Ah. And here, I thought I made it even worse.
Nope. It's bad enough as it is.
The best part is she sees you as staff now.
That was inevitable.
Your words, not mine.
It was bound to happen. If not then later.
Somebody had to be the one to take the shot on the bad roll.
Yeah, well, it was going to happen eventually.
So as the camera zooms in on your ship, pretty much not any worse for wear with what happened, you guys, because you took absolutely no real damage in that space battle you were involved in. You guys are in the communications room getting your fresh orders delivered via courier packets. And of course, you're like, hey, we're here to help, as she's all alone on the bridge because you don't really have a place to lock her up except for maybe the refresher. Yes, we're totally gonna steal the Star Wars name for bathroom.
No, I wasn't really considering a prisoner. At least I wasn't, because I rolled 2 despairs. So of course. So of
Yeah,
course.
no, you're clueless to what's going on with her.
Pretty much.
Oh,
All
the
you
wiles
know
of women.
is your Letnev masculinity is going hormones. Finally, a
Yeah.
Letnev I'm not related to.
Well, anyway.
So, you get the communications packet, giving you guys the huge kudos because, of course, they received your information. You've been sitting in space, like killing time for 2 weeks waiting for the communique to show up because, damn it, this isn't Star Wars with instantaneous communication. As you're basically told thank you for stopping the intergalactic incident that was going to happen, but thankfully, due to your actions, you averted what could have been a intergalactic war, especially if the Sa'ar were framed for a crime that they were not committing. It's pretty easy to
Right.
pick on the Sahar as it is.
No, I'm sure they had intent to, whether they did or not, but we stopped it.
And the question, in fact, is because unfortunately, very little information was gleaned in regards to the Letnev barony being responsible for this. So they're totally asking for you guys to get a little more evidence if you can.
I'm in.
I mean, we have possible ways.
Without causing another intergalactic incident.
Well,
Asking for a lot there.
Yeah. I mean,
Do they
you
have
have
any,
a witness.
Did they have any particular leads or suggestions or contacts to follow up with?
She's sitting in her ship.
The context would definitely be the sub-cha baroness that you have on the deck. And it includes her dossier, letting you know that she's like 418th from the seat of the baron.
God.
Which, that's practically next in line. I mean, only 418 sentients need to die for her to get the big chair.
So that's why she wanted that ship killed. That was probably a handful of them right there.
Probably 1 or 2 at least.
I mean, we detected 417 life forms.
Right.
How clever. She got all of her cousins working on the same ship.
Yeah.
You sly Letnev, you committed patricide.
So we can
Maybe matricide.
either torture or somebody could, get a little close and maybe now with their special skill.
Yeah.
And they can gunsling another weapon and, coerce her to cooperate and provide some information in the bedroom. Did that apply?
Depends.
It depends if his wife is in the living room or not. She'd be like, "What are you weirdos doing?"
Lies, man.
So yeah, there's minor torture or
major torture or
course,
average torture.
I can take a shot at this and roll a couple more despairs, or we can get lucky. I don't know.
And
you can
they
get lucky.
of course
I have no interest in it.
They are giving you the green light for covert operations into the barony of Letnev if required. Just make sure you have some kind of proof this time and not let the ship get blown up. As your Winu handler's snide little comment is about, you shouldn't have let the ship get blown up.
The ship escaped, didn't get blown up. Oh,
No, the ship you boarded and like
the
get
ship
blown
we
up.
boarded. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, the Letnev ship totally escaped. You guys failed at blowing that one up.
Well, if we had a real ship instead of the science ship.
Well, now we have a weapon on it.
Well, once you get the weapon assembled. Do you
We haven't
guys
done that.
We
do
don't
you guys
have
head
shit on
right
it.
off the bat to get the weapon installed during
We
your
had 2
downtime?
weeks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we got time.
Uh,
Let's go to Port Mechatol and get it done. You can spend some time with those 2 Letnev women that had their eye on you.
Obviously, you thought they were pirates, and they thought you were a pirate, so there's some pirate shenanigans.
Stupid gas from the ceiling.
You can totally introduce your new friend to your 2 old friends.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun time.
There's totally a Letnev part of the station because the Sahar just don't change the lights, so it's all dark and dingy like the Letnev like it, and they don't clean the air scrubbers, so there's fungus growing in the corners just like the Letnev like it.
Actually, the Letnev don't like that one. It's just the Sar don't like the Letnev.
I'm not sure I like the Letnev.
You understand.
Henceforth, why you were descended from pirates who broke off from the barony.
Indeed.
So, maybe you could...
really more of a recent join, but yeah.
Maybe you can wind your way in and get some information. We take her back there, and maybe she tries to, keep an eye on her, and maybe she tries to make contact with somebody.
Well, I mean, she clearly had no love for the pirates. She seemed to want them.
She ordered you to fire on them immediately.
Right, I know. And so I'm thinking if we just start out with the direct approach and just ask her, and I mean, I'm not the most cunning of individuals, so I'm thinking the direct approach might work.
I mean,
go for it. You're the one enamored with her.
Last time he asked, he totally said, "Your Highness."
Well, maybe if I'm a little respectful, at least I don't know. Anyway,
totally need to get that Letnev culture book from the Keleres.
Well, luckily, I have a savant that gives me societal information. So,
Do you really want to woo her with your savant whispering in your ear how you fucked up that communication?
No, not in the least.
I mean, I'll totally give you if you want to pull a Paul Atreides and watch the Arrakis video before your conversation. That way you're a little more suave on it instead of on the spot having your wingman Cyrano de Bergerac-ing you. Why is your savant helping you? And the savant just shrugs.
I don't know.
Immediately takes on the personality of a certain robot from Borderlands.
I mean, ultimately, I do think we can at least start with the direct approach, and if I could studying up a little bit first, certainly wouldn't hurt, unless it does.
I mean, 418th from the throne. That's scary levels of power there.
Sure, if you say so.
Well, probably. I mean, considering the populations are probably in the billions, or if not trillions, galaxy-wide. 418th isn't so bad. By the way, the story points need to be redistributed.
So of course, the Keleres totally give you guys carte blanche to use your own discretion, which comes with the Winu caveat of it's your own discretion, just don't fuck it up. To utilize covert operations planning amongst the crew to utilize any false information or creative diversions to help lead your investigation to the perpetrator behind this.
Well, like I said, she's our closest link to getting us anything easily. So.
So we know her name, and we know the name of the captain of the opposite ship, of the ship that that got chased off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can start doing a little homework about that at least.
What kind of homework are you talking about?
We'll just find out who the guy is, if there's anything, if there's anything much known about him, if there happens to be any connection between her and him, that sort of thing.
What his number is from the throne?
Yeah, for example, or just determine what is like, does he have political affiliation, et cetera, et cetera. Just basic information gathering about him and her personally.
I like how you go from basic to personal.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what I mean is
Basic
about
personal.
them specifically.
So, do you have any specific contacts we should know about for future
Well,
reference?
since they are
Or are you just picking up the local
pirates.
tabloid? Well,
Well,
they're not
since
pirates. They're
the
they're members
Letnev
of.
were, but
That's a barony ship. She's a
well, yeah,
citizen of the barony. They're totally not pirates. Or do you mean the ship that you blew up?
the ship that blew up, because there were Letnev on board there as well. I have contacts within the Mentak coalition, so I can ask a favor and see if they have any information about anybody involved in this.
Right.
Okay,
But
I
yeah,
like.
that was a barony ship, but nobody knows they're doing screwy stuff except for maybe her.
Right, but there were Letnev on board the pirate ship, so we might be able to do a little backtrace. I can call in a favor with the Mentak coalition, see if anybody knows anybody from the crew and if they have any connection.
Okay, I will totally make that a hard with a single black dice. Since, you do get reports of the SAR, arrested quite a few life pods that they did capture, and some of them
Yeah.
totally got arrested. So there's some prisoners of the Letnev persuasion that you can reference to the, hey, I need information on these schmoes.
Okay, so I can call in that as a favor and make that roll.
Yep.
All right, I'll give it a
Guys,
shot.
tell us if the information is available at all.
So it's essentially a society roll.
Yep.
Right, because that's okay. Oh, bummer.
As they're just like, sorry, buddy. One of your old buddies at the detention center, you can totally see he feels uncomfortable wearing prison uniform because descended from prisoners. As he's just like, I don't seem to have gotten any information from any of those prisoners that we negotiated with the Sahar to get back. We had to let go 3 Sahar prisoners for every one of those prisoners on that ship we got, and we only got 10 of them. We just sent 30 Sahar prisoners free to the stars. The universe is now a less safe place.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But hey, when you come back to the planet side, I'll totally get you that free drink.
All right. So do I get the impression, like with that advantage, can I at least get the impression do I think he's telling me the truth that he doesn't know anything, or?
Oh yeah, you're totally getting, your contact is giving you the truth on this.
Okay.
It's probably the pirates have kept to the pirate code and just are not sharing any of the intel.
Fair enough.
I mean, since you have a contact, maybe you want to go interrogate them yourself.
Interrogate the contact?
No, use the contact
No,
to go interrogate the prisoners in person.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
I was gonna say,
or
like,
you can
that,
interrogate the contact.
that wouldn't
I
be
mean, you
nice.
can. I mean, he still isn't gonna know anything. So
Next time I ask, make the words.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that would be a logical next step.
Okay, so you guys basically, are saying you're gonna head to the
Detour.
prison planet, detour. You've got your shiny new cannon on the ship. I hope somebody's putting it on the character sheet. It's a
I
serious
think
piece
I
of
added it
weapons,
last time.
serious weapons grade materials on this ship. You've got this ship with this cannon that takes up like half the length of it.
Yep, I added
It is it is clear as day that there is a weapon welded by a dozen SAR on the outside, finishing up the work.
Extended focus beam turret.
And they're just like,
Great.
don't overheat it and don't screw it up because it's only got a 3-shot or 30-day warranty.
Whichever comes first.
Great. I feel
We're gonna-
so secure now.
Burn
Don't
through
worry.
that in one day.
That's the standard SAR warranty.
It works right now, so if it breaks, you despaired it.
Yeah, that's not the way we operate.
The way you operate is you had no weapon before.
Yeah, listen, I've seen things with these SAR warranties last for months, years even.
Some of those space stations have never had maintenance.
In fact,
You
most
mean
of them
month
never have.
or year even?
And no one has lived to report that they died on board.
Right. Yeah, the Argent flight, we operate with proper working quality weapons.
Yeah, and that's why you guys have 3 ships.
And some people still question if you exist at all in the galaxy. Bird people obsessed by an ancient race of mythological creatures that don't exist? Highly
Yeah,
unlikely.
okay. You'll see. You'll see.
Till everybody gets turned into flesh golems.
Hope not.
And then the bird people will twitch their heads left and right and say, I told you so, I told you so.
Yep.
And then everybody else will just say brains.
So you
All
guys
right,
are
well, that's
turning on
I don't
around and heading back to the prison planet. Thankfully, it is very conveniently well marked on the chart, so you know how to get there with no problem. And there's totally a wormhole nearby that you can use, which makes life even more easy.
Hooray!
Yeah. Yay. Love wormholes.
We need to get you guys a pilot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, as opposed to
Yeah.
our Letnev who loves warm holes.
Oh, come on.
One time in the shower, and he never hears
come
the end of it.
on.
He went there.
Yeah, I did.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
As
Well.
he totally looks at you and shrugs and says, my people are from a prison planet. That's how I say hello where I'm from.
Cheap shot.
Isn't our fish able to operate?
Yeah, our fish is probably the best option for operating.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
probably
the pilot
second
last time
best.
only because he wasn't here.
Yeah, I mean, I got 3 green, which isn't spectacular, but
I've got 2 green and a yellow.
yeah. So
Well, so it's
Okay.
operate because it's
yellow.
it's operating for this ship, right?
Yep.
Not a
Yeah, it's
piloting.
big enough that it's not a fighter. So
Yeah,
you guys, you pop out in space at the other end of the wormhole. Are you using any of your credentials to skip the line, or are you sticking to the 6-hour traffic jam at the wormhole that everyone else has to deal with?
Oh,
we're
we've got our
totally
IFF going.
Okay.
we're
You
totally skipped one.
You totally whip out your credentials that you're here. Do you want to be announced that you're coming, or are you going to pop by the prison just all nonchalant and surprisey? Hey, bro, I brought some whiskey and cigarettes.
I'll leave that up to Rove.
Well, I say, we use the credentials to jump the line, but don't let them know we're coming to the prison planet specifically, so they don't disseminate information down to the inmates if there's any kind of leaks.
You totally give them the classified. We're here on a classified mission.
Yep.
Need to know, and you don't need to know. Okay, so you head to the side of the planet where you know the prison is because you're that good and your buddy likes to talk because it's good to have friends in low places. And I think I picked on the Mentav Coalition enough. I shouldn't say that it don't get no lower than that.
Wah, wah.
Thought you'd like that. So you're flying to the prison basically. It looks like a small island surrounded by a sunken junk heap. You know, the water, you can totally tell there's like disposed metal stuff under the water. You know, it's like they filled in a harbor with garbage, and that's when they created the artificial island that is the prison. It works. It's an island called Traz, ran by Alka. Prison warden Alka, not Holic.
You there, Christopher? I see you. You're muted, but
Yeah, I'm here.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Just hadn't heard you.
I spoke up at the start, but then I haven't.
Well, I thought I saw you were gone, then you're back. So,
Oh, no, I didn't.
well, I thought I only saw 4 of us on Skype at one point. Maybe it was delayed. Okay.
So
Well, he's obviously here now.
you guys get to the prison. It's your typical space prison. You know, it's got big, gray, dingy walls. Looks like it could stave off a little bit of orbital bombardment, but I wouldn't want to test it. You know, it's probably built by the cheapest contractor. And you see the various lily pads for ships to land on that pass for the starport totally have a convenient feel that someone could disconnect a lily pad from the prison at any time with the push of a button.
And just let it drop.
Mainly
nice.
because as you fly by, you totally see a wreckage of a small junky ship that had just that happen, that they just blew the bolts and dropped the whole lily pad into the water. Probably a prison break or something like that. You know, there's probably a good reason. I mean, you're not here to prison break anyone, so that should be fine. Should be fine.
No.
And there's 2 checkpoints once you get off of your ship that you have to pass through that seems to have, you know, a gate that goes the entire width of the platform with no rails. So you'd have to climb very difficultly over it or possibly get shot while doing so. And it looks like there's a single guard at each one of the gates. Though as you fly by, these guards that are out there seem very not interested in their job. At least at casual glance. At least until the fresh ship lands.
High security prison. I love it.
Well, there's not a lot of places for them to go, so.
And it's not like they've got family members that paid the judge to get them to a lower security prison.
And I'm sure the effort into interrogating was intense, not.
Well, that's where we come in.
Yep.
They were letting it. They just put the lights on really bright. And they gave them 1 dark handkerchief for 5 people.
Fight over it. Or take turns.
It's the barony of Letnev.
Alright, so whose jurisdiction are we in right now?
Mentek Coalition. They paid for the
prisoner.
prisoner.
So it is officially. Okay.
Yep, it's officially the Mentek Coalition. So, I mean, your credentials will get you pretty far.
Alright, well, let's do it then.
Do you radio in their comm tower when they give you that ominous click buzz of please state your business?
Yeah, now it's now we can basically, start to throw our weight around just a little bit, but, identify ourselves, but not go into too much detail. Just enough that they know we need to speak to the in charge.
I will notify the warden. Is there any specific reason for your visit that I should quote?
We have prisoners to question.
Ooh, I like this. Giving you a free upgrade. Go ahead and give me your roll against an average purple. As she's
What
just
am I
like,
doing?
oh, right away. Go
Leadership?
ahead, and leadership would totally work since you're calling in on your actual cred.
Okay, cool.
You're like official business leadership. Yes, please.
Can I get Oh, there we go.
Oh, you want a second upgrade?
I would like a second upgrade.
Look at that. Too big to fail. I actually expected far better. But 2 successes. She's like, right away, sir. I will have you'll go to lily pad C14, and she sends you the coordinates on the screen display. Totally shows the little flight path to fly there and land. And she advises that if you're free, the warden has confirmed he will be available in 45 minutes to meet with you at one of the meeting rooms at the main entrance.
Perfect. Much appreciated.
And are you any additional business, such as picking up or dropping off?
No, just not that we know, not that we plan at the moment. As of right now, it's just information gathering.
Excellent. That's just what we need to know. Please present the following security codes to the guards to be let off the pad and onto the facility. And she transmits this like 25-digit security code. You totally just have to hit the button. It gets printed up on a card.
All right.
As you guys land the ship, what is the plan? The ramp comes down with the ominous hiss and smoke special effects. It's really just the humidity from our fish friend.
We're going in like we own the place.
I'm contained. I don't.
Blub blub blub. Okay. Yeah, I agree with David. I think we just
So you're coming
go
in
in
with
like we own the
weapons hot
place.
and everything?
No, not like that, but just like confident. We're about our business.
So,
I mean,
so
definitely
are you leaving
armed.
your weapons behind?
Oh no.
I'm leaving the sword behind, but I'm still taking my
We're
pistol.
Keleres, bitches.
Yeah, exactly. And the letnev is not easily parted with his poignards.
They're like the last time we flew around unarmed, we got shot a lot. True story. So you come off the ship, you guys got your gear on, you got feathery guy with a bow, and the wind quaffs his feathers just right. Beautiful moment as the guard kind of looks at you guys and looks at the ship and looks at you guys, and I'm assuming, are you wearing your Keleres identification? Your badges?
Yeah,
guys
I'm
have-
in my diplomatic garb with the Keleres badge and
So
everything.
he totally looks at the garb and the ID badges, and totally under his helmet is a little. And you come up to him, and you sense a little trepidation in him, mainly because he's eyeballing your weapons, and then he looks at his crappy little stun rifle carbine that has no lethal setting. And he's asks for your rec code, and I'm assuming you show it to him, and he
Of course.
kind of mumbles the number, letter, number, letter. What is that symbol? Oh, I forgot what that was again. Okay, and he's like, I see that you're here on official business, but I don't believe regulations will allow you to come on the prison grounds with weapons on you. Are you going to try to convince him otherwise?
Yeah.
You bet your ass.
Gun diplomacy to keep your guns on you.
This is not official business, or not your standard official, not your standard official business. So,
as his hand hovers on the green door open or the red prison break attempt, there's two big fat buttons. He gets to decide which to push. So who's gonna sweet talk him into it? Of no ruffled feathers.
somebody had the decent
try
leadership, right?
some leadership, some charm, some deception. These are not the weapons you're looking for. These are all non-lethal. Don't you mind that giant bow that serrates through the earth.
Yeah. Well, I could. This is a pretty big one, so I mean, I could leadership him.
Because you're what, 2 or you're 3 dice for it, right?
It's a yellow and a green, but
And I'm totally giving you a blue on this because you're the man. You guys got the uniforms. You look legit. You sound legit. You are actually physically legit. And you won't
I can
quit.
charm them
no,
with 2 yellow.
Too legit to quit.
I
can deceive him.
I'll do the leadership.
Now, what's your
I just
deceive?
want to make sure we get
4
this.
Okay.
I got this.
Deceive him that these are not weapons. They are in fact birthday cakes.
Yeah, I'm gonna basically, identify myself as Keleres agent, member of the MedTech Coalition. We're here on official business. These weapons are absolutely necessary, and we have every intent on taking them in, and we have the authority to do so.
These weapons are
Regulation 14B Alpha 13L6.5.
Subsector 4.
Obviously, you had not read your regulations appropriately.
You got a balloon and an upgrade against the Schmo Guard.
Well, can't fail on this one.
Now the question is, are you going to report his ass for letting you get to the prison with weapons? Because when the inevitable breakout happens, you now know how well the security is. You have written what the security protocol is.
Got it.
As he totally looks at you and he starts to humna, and then he totally just sighs and his helmeted head looks down and his shoulders slack and he hits the open button and he says, please be safe. Please do not go anywhere not marked with a blue line on the floor. And please make sure to keep all weapons and arms within close personal proximity of your person at all times.
That's our absolute intent, and thank you. I'll be sure to mention you for a commendation.
And he kind of like puffs up to that of like, hey. And then totally like straightens his uniform a little so he doesn't look like a total slob. And he kind of does with those 3 successes, he does the very loud whistle and then hits his comm to talk to the other guard to let him know to let you guys through. Your official Keleres agents on work. Here to see the warden. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All of a sudden I use my radio voice. It's cool, dude. Let him go. And the guy totally is like buzzing the door open and holding it for you guys way before you even get there.
All right. Proceed.
As you guys go walking up there, you see another ship cross the way, land, and take off, Looks like an old junker ship. Totally has laundromat written on the side of it. You guys get to the entrance, and there's totally a little biometric scanner there where you would put your hand and your face to be scanned, to be entered, which means a big sign that says, please remove all hand garments or other appendages and face coverings.
That's fine.
As it totally
I can't, I'll suffocate.
I do not for religious reasons. I will die. That's against my religion. As of course, the scanner totally identifies you as a high roll, and it's like bypass.
Yes.
And it totally, scans your VIN barcode on your suit. Who's gonna go to the extraneous situation to kidnap your suit of armor?
No, I'm all good. I don't have headgear on, so.
And thankfully, only one of you guys is identified on the hand scanner by name. Conveniently, the only one of you guys from the Mentech Coalition.
Right? Yeah. Not me.
It's like user unknown, classified, ID, and it gives a string of numbers and letters as your ID name. And then, you come in and there's two savants acting as receptionists. They have very spindly little arms as they gesture for you to take a seat, as the warden will be here shortly for you. And you're hearing the intergalactic music.
Nice. I'll grab a seat in the corner and preen.
You totally see articles from intergalactic magazines like Prisons for Hire. It's totally a sales brochure that you can pay them to take your prisoners off their hands. In some of the securest facilities ever.
Yeah. I think there's some false advertisement here, but hey.
Anything you're doing before the warden makes his snappy appearance?
How many entrances, exits to the room? Anything
It looks
noteworthy?
like there is the two big double doors you came in from. There's two distinct doors past the receptionists, and you see on the floor there's colored lines. There's like a white line, a red line, a yellow line, a blue line, and they go disappearing down the hall with the automated doors. And the ceiling in here looks weird because it's like 20-foot tall ceilings. And then all of a sudden you realize that there must be like a balcony on the second floor up there. It's just concealed in some way that you it's got to be there because the space in the room. It's just concealed by some way.
It's probably essentially a shooting gallery, just in case.
As pretty much at that exact moment when you're getting super suspicious of that upper area of why would somebody make ceilings this tall and have an air gap up there, but not like a second floor observation patio. And just then you see, a hologram shimmer that was a solid wall for a second, and then there's this very portly looking human with big pork chop mustache. He's got the big hairy mustache that connects to the pork chop sideburns. Nothing on his lower chin, but all kinds of decorative cuts put into his little beard. And he's got that happy belly, very happy belly. Little French ruffles on his shirt under his suit. As he says, very well. Are you here for a surprise inspection by the consortium?
Not exactly. Recently, some prisoners were brought here, and I'll give what information I have who were after. Have you spoken to any of them?
I speak to so many interesting fellows in this facility. And he totally turns back and you see a very young Letnev woman, probably about 20-ish by Letnev standards. And a floating savant comes up and he immediately, gives the information you provided. And the Letnev woman's like listing off a list of names that he's totally ignoring. And the savant, he looks at it and says, you know what you need to do. We need to create a list to find out which of these we have talked to. And the savant totally goes over to her and plugs into her pad, and immediately the list comes up. As he goes, yes, those are some of our newest residents at our 5 galactic star service. And he hits a button and you see like how clean the walls are. The lighting just ramped up to really beautiful recessed lighting. As you can see sparkle on the walls. As he says, here, and he totally pulls, his sleeve up and there's a wrist comm built into his suit. And he hits a few buttons and then all of a sudden what looked also to be a normal wall shimmers, and there's a lift to go up to that section. A lift with no railing, because cheapest contractor.
Mhm.
Well,
There'll
I
be
am
no
impressed.
As he says, "Please come, come. We have much to discuss, and I'd love to be as helpful as I can for a fellow truly born member of the Mentech Collective." As
Marvelous.
And when
Lead
he
the way.
says that, he kind of eyeballs your friends as weirdos. You know, it's a member of the sorority and his D&D friends. And thankfully, the platform has more than enough space for all of you to come up once.
Okay, we'll step on. And so he brought up how many names?
He brought up a list of 12 names.
And they collected how many?
They collected 10.
Oh.
As you guys slowly come up the lift, it rises up as the camera angle changes to his point of view, and he sees you guys coming up from the boxy square opening in the floor. As the lift stops very smoothly, very beautifully, gentle. As he says, so what exactly can I do for you? And he puts a finger up to interrupt you guys as soon as somebody makes a noise, and he hits a couple buttons, and the hologram reappears, concealing this balcony area. And he says, "I'm sorry, now you may speak. There's a noise compensation, so that way we don't disturb any of our savants down below. Isn't that right, Toonie?" Yeah.
Is the Latin woman there still too?
Yep. Toonie is the obviously name you think of her, because he just addressed her about the noise. As he mumbles something about one doesn't want to be kept up with the screams and despondencies of the clients that live here.
Well, you obviously have a well-run organization here. I can see by the efficiency of your guard up front, he was quite efficient in seeing us through.
Well, thank you. We pride ourselves on having only the best security, as well as the highest revenue turnover as a for-profit correction facility. Do you
Why
know
not?
our profit rating last quarter was 1,500%. We practically could run this place for a century on what we make in 1 year.
Hey, taken back from the true criminals of the galaxy, huh?
And he gives you that crooked wink and smile. This guy screams car salesman.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that information.
And then he gladly welcomes you into the office and has Toonie sit at her little reception desk, where you clearly know when him and the savants, wave you into his office, where he's got two nice loungy couches that have obviously got a constant scent of disinfectant, probably where prisoners are sat to be interviewed, and like two really nice chairs against his desk for guests to sit at, as he gestures for you all to pick a seat. And when he closes the door, you totally hear the frump of the environmental system seal in this office, and probably sound suppression, as you feel you have plenty of privacy. He respects your need for privacy.
Awesome.
So what can I help Keleres agents and a fellow friend of the coalition?
Well, as one coalition member to another, I'll be frank with you. Some of these prisoners recently that have been brought here have information that may have information that we need. And we would very much like to question them. And if there's any information you've gathered thus far that could be very helpful in our investigation.
And as you're asking this, instead of sitting behind his desk, he kind of walks over to the what looks like a window, but you totally know from the orientation of this office it is not the window that's facing your ship. Yet the window shows the perspective of your ship out there at the landing pad when he touches it. As he totally seems to be ignoring what you just said. I mean, he may be faking it or he may be genuine about it. You're not quite sure. You're hoping he's just incompetent and not being a dick about it. As he says, your ship has a very, very rotund weapon on it. Is that aftermarket?
I'll look to the Sahara, my Sahara friend, because not really my speciality.
A custom job.
Prudent. I heard most Keleres have, unfortunately, unarmed vessels. That
Well,
must
they're not
be.
most.
That must be frustrating.
Wouldn't know.
Thankfully, my facility here comes with all of the latest in riot suppression devices. And he totally goes over to the desk that's cluttered with files and different things. And he has this little intercom box with like a dozen switches. And he totally flips one switch and you see nozzles pop out of the ceiling that obviously would spray some kind of aerosol agent. And, he then, hits another button and you feel the synthetic carpet kind of stands on edge, implying that there's some kind of security device on the floor. I'm sorry. You were saying about prisoners, and he flops down.
I'll just repeat what I said the first time.
Yes.
We need to speak to them one at a time.
Is this one of those speak, or is this one of those I have to fill out a TD-479 accidental death report talk? And the way he says that is very cold and fucking calculating. It's not the first time, and he's not kidding when he says that.
Definitely the first, hopefully not the second.
Oh, excellent. Because, we did have to give away quite a few of our inmates to get these new guests here. And I will tell you, and it's funny because he's talking to the Letnev, just how easy Letnev riot suppression is, just utilizing sonics and light amplification. Anything in the ultraviolet spectrum, and Letnevs get the worst purple burn. It's actually kind of
seem really susceptible to gases too.
So rude.
I like your friends, and I will need to get a little more information. And he totally hits a button on his console, and it starts playing through that list in holograms. And he's asking, like, which one of them do you want to speak with first? Is there any specific order? Or would you just like my servitor to bring up random order?
Are they housed separately or together?
Currently, looks like 5 are in the Letnev wing. Those were the ones who were cooperative and basically shared the information we asked for without having to resort to too much difficulty. And the other 5 are in solitary confinement. So they can't speak to each other. Because do you know the Letnev have a very subtle way of communicating with each other when people think they're not being watched? I didn't want them all having the same story down pat at this point, even though they've already been sequestered together for far too long.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think questioning one of the group and one of the ones in solitary to start with would be a good start. We can compare notes, question them separately and compare notes. And you did mention that you already gathered some information.
Oh, yes. We got some information, and as he turns to his savant, the hologram changes to like a bunch of numbers and information that goes by. Somebody give me a perception check.
That's me.
Roll, yeah.
I know.
We're gonna add 1 black just because the savant's a jerk. Go for it.
It's fine. I have heightened perception.
Oh my gosh.
So with your success, you see that they seem to have gotten basically more than just name, rank, and serial number. They've got their planet of origin, as well as the surviving family members.
Okay.
And before I
useful.
tell you the rest, what did you want for those 3 advantage? Or would you like me to tell you the rest before you say?
Yeah, let's hear the rest before.
With your very advantageous roll, you're seeing the 5 that talked all provided financial information. You know, bank account information.
Where do they bank?
And the accounts have been verified. And they all
banking at the same place?
No, they seem to give different galactic accounts.
Is that how the prison makes a profit?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Probably pay for a reduced sentence or privileges.
Or freedoms. Yep.
But British prisons were synonymous for giving people early release.
Hey, I got no problem with that.
Mentec Coalition have special bail rules.
I'm sure they do.
Some people call it hostage, other people call it justice served. But you totally notice that with your glimpse. You're just like, why does a prisoner need to give their financial report with a fucking credit report? And then you see like credit passcode. You're just like,
1000%.
What would you like for those 3 advantages?
I mean, I was using it to see if they were like notice if we're all banking at the same place or if there was something in common. If one of those institutions just like a hint of a memory.
I will give you that the codes do have a similar pattern, but at first glance it looks like they're different codes from all across the galactic banking system until you realize that the code on all the ones that you spotted with your keen perceptive eyes seems to have the same like sub routing code that matches a virtual banking network. Because you know how some banks have actual vaults? Their bank is totally one of those virtual banks that doesn't actually have facilities. It does everything over courier messaging or dead drops for deposits.
Okay, then. I'm going to bring that up.
In front of everyone, including the warden?
You know what? Yeah.
As he squints and he gets a little flustered when you point that out. He's like, "Oh, it's standard practice and a little stretch of the galaxy to make sure we have all information, so that way our prisoners can utilize their personal banking accounts to purchase in-house items such as viewing time on the local news networks. The local channels, we wouldn't want anyone to miss their serials, if you know what I mean. The stories are a great way to keep the prisoners behaving if you have something you can take away. Also,
don't worry, we really don't care if you're robbing them.
Also, our commissary is willing to sell over 42 varieties of pet
He's not going to react to that at all.
He is not going to react. He's continuing the sales spiel that these are all legit reasons. I don't know what you're talking about. This is so they can have their pet quack and be able to feed it on a regular basis.
You know what? I respect it. I really do.
That's all totally fine. We're remarking. I think my friend is remarking on the commonality between the serial numbers.
And he totally looks at the the hologram and swings his hand to make the hologram turn towards him, and he's like, "You don't say!" And he reaches into his desk and whips out writable plastisheet and starts doodling down the prisoner ID numbers you notice on there and banking, and then circles it with money signs on both sides of the word banking.
Charge them more for their services.
And what did you say the organization was that looked so familiar to you?
It's,
Kosh,
I'm
kosh,
sorry.
bagosh.
Yeah, it's like I'm so lost. Is this something that I need to make up? Yeah, it's Oshkosh. Like,
Yep. And he's
Oshkosh
just like,
Spitgang.
he's like, I never would have noticed that. And he looks at his, savant and says, did you notice that? And the savant's like, it's basic banking information in the routing information, accessible to all sentients, open source. And he gives out this big, huge reference number of legal banking code from the old Imperium. Because my God, there was a, Imperium banking system.
of course there was.
And it didn't use gold pressed platinum.
That's funny.
As he totally hears a message on the automated system of a prison trustee saying, "Our newest survey says we would like the gelled paktar for dinner, and no longer the bee safa. It has less bones, even after the grinding. Bones give 10% more calcium. It prevents inmate bone breaking or cartilage in some species."
Right.
As
There's one of them on the way.
which one would you like to speak with first? And would you like to utilize my office, or do you prefer someplace more intimate, like an interrogation room?
Is there carpeting in here?
There's totally some really nice rugs on some like steel floor that's there, but it's been buffed, like steel polished, to a beautiful mirror shine.
Well, unless you don't value the carpet, it's up to
And
you.
he looks over the desk at the floor and he just snickers and says, "Aha! You don't want to know how much it costs to import that to bring that here. It really does match the curtains and brings the whole room together and drops the humidity level to a decent level so you're not sweating."
So why don't we have two adjacent rooms that are not terribly comfortable? Bring one from the solitary inn and bring one from the group in. Put them in, adjoining rooms, but not so they can see or hear each other, and let them sit there for a little while.
Ooh, excellent. I do appreciate that. Savant 478, please activate Savant 479 and mirror your core system to theirs, and go set that up in that exact manner, and then have him send me what rooms are going to be used and which guards will escort them. And you immediately see the savant kind of floats over to a closet and hits a button, and a duplicate looking savant pops out with a slightly different number, totally matches what he says, and it plugs into that one, and then that one wakes up and says, "I will follow your orders exactly. Please excuse me while I go rouse the prisoners to be interrogated and set the guard watch to be rotated properly." And it
Be sure they're in restraints.
restraints, affirmative. And it just goes biddly bopping, floating away. And it's little round balls that pass for legs and that are holding off the ground. As the warden
And deposit, sorry, one more thing. Deposit them in the rooms, but don't tell them anything about why or what it's about.
excellent. Classic from the Jean Wei book of interrogation. Tell them nothing, for a quiet interrogator gets the interrogatee to speak the most. And it hits a button, and a little tube pops up, and it zips away out of the tube. As the warden, totally, when you guys like collectively turn over from the cute little servitor, you see the warden sitting there with his elbows on his desk, and he's got his hands steepled together like somebody getting ready to either have dinner or get a great reward. As he looks and says, "So, is there any compensation for any information the prisoners may give?" And you totally feel the shakedown.
That depends entirely on the prisoner and the quality of information given. But, in a word, most maybe.
Most maybe. That
Your
that must be a Letnev
yours
expression I've never heard before.
yours and their service will be noted by Keleres. Thank you. We'll give them high regards for you.
As he makes a little bit of a frumpy face but doesn't seem to push it. He was totally willing to negotiate for more.
I know he was.
As he totally prints up the plastic sheets of the 10 prisoners, and basically for 5 of them it's got their names, their homeworld, their nearest surviving dependent for the the remains in case they die in prison.
Nice. Or who we murder if they don't cooperate. Okay, great.
So with that information, any of them connected to the royal line?
Ooh, with what you have access to, that's going to be a difficult one to eyeball. You can totally pull up a teammate to help you go over the list when you have a quiet moment.
Yeah,
Somebody smart.
because we're gonna let them sit for a while.
Yep, you're going to let them stew.
But Rublars, you want to work with me on this one? See what we can find out. All right, what's your society roll?
Society. So
It's going to be a knowledge. It's under the knowledge skills.
Knowledge, lore, or culture?
Probably culture, societies. I think that's the same thing.
Yeah.
4 greens.
Okay, so I'll get another green on my roll.
Okay.
All right, so let me know when you're ready, Jim.
Okay, let me add 1 green. And you may have noticed I already clicked the story points. You were so polite to give me so many of them early on.
I did notice. All right.
Ready when you are.
Nice.
Holy crap. As you go looking at this list, the two of you, you literally are picking through this list by line, and then you go through and you pick it a second time. And one of the names and the house that he has listed as his family house, you totally think the person's name is fictitious for a Letnev of any status, because it's like a name that goes down in Letnev history as somebody completely abhorrent. Probably someone that landed in the coalition. But the house name is something that you've heard before in the history books of a Letnev house that doesn't exist anymore. Because sometimes in Letnev society, houses just disappear.
It's kind of like drow culture, isn't it?
I was going to say,
Yep.
sounds very drowish.
I mean, they are basically dark elves if you look at them.
Yep. Their house, their Leto from House Atreides meets the Dark Elves. Which, by the way, if you haven't noticed it, Twilight Imperium, the board game, was made when Asmodee was doing the Dune board game, and then they lost the rights to Dune. That's why quite a few of the races sound very Dune-ish.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it was even
themes are,
Asmodee at the time. I think FFG was independent at the time and had the Dune license.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thematically, it's very similar too.
Mm-hmm. And I will throw out there, did you hear about Asmodee's financial issues with their parent company now?
No, I assume they have bad ones.
Apparently, the company that just bought them shoveled on lots of debt and is now separating from them.
Hooray! Modern capitalism wins again.
Yep. Sadly,
No,
somebody
that's just assholes.
Yeah, somebody
No,
was joking.
it's modern capitalism.
The same thing someone was saying Hasbro was going to do with Wizards of the Coast was basically drop it into debt so they lose the debt and kick the company off. It's exactly what Asmodee had happened to them.
Yep.
I'm glad Edge Studios has the RPGs.
Yeah. And all the miniatures games got spun off to Atomic Mass.
Yeah. So back to your investigation, this commercial break brought to you by Political Science and why corporate law is stupid. You totally notice this person's name. The name sounds legit, but the house and the beneficiary's name totally screams bogus to you as a Latnev. Like the only
It's a-
way this could be an actual person that's their home contact would be is if they had a time machine for 1,000 years ago to go back in time to talk to the house before it was wiped out of the history books.
That's the same one we were just talking about?
Yep.
Just this one guy, not two different guys?
Nope, just this one guy. That's the one that really
Okay.
pops out. And it has him
One guy's-
listed as freelance privateer as his occupation.
And is he one of the cooperative or the isolations?
He is one of the cooperative ones that's in general
Hmm.
housing.
Okay. Could I leverage those advantage into like a boost die for us when we question him?
Yeah, you totally could. But will you?
Yes. That's what I would like to do.
Okay, so anything
Make it go a little easier.
before we screen swipe to the interrogation room?
I'm good.
I mean, the warden gets the feeling he's not going to get any cash for greasing the gears of democracy.
Not yet, anyway. I mean,
But we'll put in a word with the Keleres for him.
I have a thought that might pan out depending on how cooperative they are, but we'll see how it goes.
As you guys, totally are sprawled out in the interrogation room. I'm assuming all of you are going in, or somebody staying behind to look at the observation wall, which totally shows a cool sci-fi X-ray of the room.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
So the techie wants to stay. He's like, oh, I
Or
don't have to get involved in beating him up. Then fine.
or a perceptive guy.
Oh, that might be better.
Look, I have identified his upper intestines through the X-ray.
Yeah,
Where he
and
has-
also, if Rublar's behind the glass too, you could use computers to verify things that they're information they're giving potentially.
So the two of us, you two go in and beat them up, and we'll sit back and watch.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds pretty much what I'm suggesting.
We didn't commit any war
Okay.
crimes. We just watched. It's fine.
I mean,
it's fine.
It's still a crime. You observed.
it's not
and did
science,
nothing.
but I took notes.
It's
I did
political
something.
science,
That's
man.
even more so.
It's psychology.
Don't worry, he's got a high roll law firm that's basically student lawyers gumming at the rubber lips to be able to get their first court case to defend his civil rights.
Well, absolutely.
If the tank don't fit, you must acquit. I love you, awesome nerds. You got that.
That was good.
That was really bad.
Don't have to be a nerd, just have to be old.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys, that go into the observation room. The wall is basically this black LED-like screen that totally shows X-rays of everything happening inside. And of course, there's a little index and button that you can change different spectrals of light. If you don't want to look at your friend's bones without their garments,
I'm gonna say, don't get all creepy on me, man.
thankfully
Don't-
there's enough genetic diversity between them you can easily make out their skeletons.
Yeah, mine are hollow.
And the
I'm a bird.
Letnev is totally, handcuffed to the table by the binders themselves have an electromagnet that totally will attach them to the nearest metal surface, which in this case is the flat steel table. That is, yes, part of the floor, so it's not getting flipped over or used as a weapon.
Do we want to talk to the guy from isolation first or the cooperative guy first?
Cooperative. That way we can take whatever additional information he says and use it on the uncooperative.
Okay, cool. And we got a boost for our questioning. So do you want to go good or bad?
This is when I say, does anyone have the good cop, bad cop talent?
No.
We don't, but but
If we're both there, do our gunslinger diplomacies, are they cumulative?
If you're willing to threaten him with a weapon, basically, yes.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I'm 2 yellow in coercion, 2 yellow in charm, so I
well,
can take the coercion.
since he's been cooperative, I've got a yellow and 2 greens in coercion, plus 2 successes, a threat, or plus a success and -2 threat if I'm not using gunslinger. But charm, since he's been cooperative, you want to take that tack?
Sure. So.
And I've shared the information I got from the knowledge roll, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll walk in like, hey, how's it going? Wow, already rolling the dice, huh?
Is there anything I have to do for your dice pool? As he seems very cooperative when you guys come in, he's like, oh, please, this is all a big misunderstanding. I was captured by space pirates and shoved into a life pod and then captured by some Sahar who are insisting that I was a pirate. And I'm no pirate. I am a loyal citizen of the Letnev barony. I have no title, no military rank, no. And of course, as soon as your Letnev friend walks in behind you, he totally kind of like gives him a look-see and says, "Did the barony send you as a member of Keleres?" And he immediately recognizes the Keleres, diplomatic garb. And he's making assumptions that you are a Letnev from the barony that's working with the Keleres.
So they're treating you okay?
The beatings have been minimal. The
Good.
oppressive light treatment every 45 minutes is a bit harsh. They turn up the lights and the heat, and they turn down the moisture level and he totally lets you see his lips as he rubs them, and you realize they put some kind of like topical cream or makeup on his lips to cover up that he's got chapped lips. Obviously, they were addressing his injuries as best they could. As he totally, starts to just say, "I just want to go home. Are you able to get me free to go home?"
That sounds like you've had a pretty bad day since you were on the ship and came here, huh?
I was on my way to a Zarnite colony where we were going to be growing Zarnite fruits, and these foul people captured our ship because we flew in a very large unarmed colony ship, and I'm sure by now the other colonists that did make it have claimed all the good stakes on the properties. I'll be left probably living in some God's forsaken stone mountain.
And who was in charge of the ship that captured you?
It was Captain Faranoff. He was a very proud and honorable member of his human species.
Wait
Do
a
we
second.
recognize that name?
Wait, I thought the captain of that ship was a Letnev.
Of the pirate ship? He's referring to
No,
the
he-
colony ship that he was on.
Oh,
No,
the
no,
colony
The
ship.
captain
Oh,
of
the
the
fake.
pirate
ship
ship
that
was
captured
Sar.
I don't know about the pirate ship. That we were captured and then herded like Junga beasts into cells and not allowed to talk to anyone, and we were treated poorly. Do you know they used the bars and the floors to electrocute us? It was very, very barbaric treatment, not worthy of an enlightened species in this galaxy. They say
Have your
species can be judged by how they treat prisoners, and
have your feet recovered?
he totally like looks down below his table and gets kind of quiet. Do me
I
a
don't remember.
favor. You asked a good question.
And I'm gonna mutter under my breath, I don't recall seeing any such cells on that ship.
So what am I rolling to observe
Give
his
me
bullshit?
a vigilance check.
All right.
Can we combine for that, since I'm obviously paying attention?
Okay, what will that do to the dice pool?
I've got 2 yellow and a green.
I got 2 green and a blue.
So it's gonna upgrade a yellow to a green. I mean, a green to a yellow. Is that what I heard?
Sounds like in a blue.
2 yellow, green, and a blue.
So
Or
who's
2 blue.
rolling it? So I know what I need to add.
Just add 2 blue to
Actually,
mine.
probably
Or
be
1 blue to mine.
his. Actually, it's just a blue to him would be the easiest, probably,
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
because
I
I'm
got
just
the
2
blue in
green.
there
So
for you. As you're quietly observing, as your partner's getting him to talk, and he's talking a lot.
sure. Fucking.
Oh,
Oh my
whoa.
god, dude.
And I didn't even.
Dang.
Yeah. So you're questioning him, and he's telling you all about the captain's wife and 2 daughters, and how those disgusting pirates murdered them in cold blood because they wouldn't give over the ship's petty cash. And he does this whole total song and dance, telling you about the saga leading up to him being captured by these pirates, and that whoever these blessed sentients were that got us free, even the Sa'ar, who didn't believe what we were saying, but still fed us and clothed us and gave us basic galactic dignity. All of those people didn't realize how well they worked together to free us. Thank you all. I would like to send a message to all of them, if only I had enough credits in my account to send out communiques.
Yeah. I'll have to have my doctor check you over and make sure you're all right and your feet are healing okay.
Oh, no need. Our prison medic.
It's the least we can do.
Needs.
Just want to make sure.
Okay.
So what were you guys doing when you were captured? Where were you that they captured you?
We were using commercial space lanes because, unfortunately, our captain had outdated charts, so we had to do it the slow way. And that totally sounds sensible on the path that he gives you. With just basic space knowledge, it sounds like the direction some of their victim ships have totally been on.
Hey, Jim?
Yeah?
Does the monitoring equipment include, like, checking biorhythms and heart rates and other indicators of lying?
It does. It also measures surface temperature and things like that. Are you sly dogging that you would like to use that to do a medicine roll to see if there's anything fishy going on?
Yes, please.
And I will give you a blue because you have the technology.
Excellent.
I was waiting.
Yeah, maybe even check those bank accounts at some point.
Ooh,
oh yeah.
Don't roll yet. Let me in there for you.
Okay.
Okay, I got that in there for you.
Okay.
Damn. So interesting stuff.
Yeah. Lots of success, but the 3 threats suck, but that's all right.
For the success, there is a success. Yes, there's definitely a success.
Yeah.
The success definitely tells you that he seems to be having, when you're cycling through the different features, he seems to have a very adverse reaction to what he's saying. So it could be either an extremely bad case of PTSD, but you're just like, as you're like floating in your little tank part with your elbow holding your other elbow up and your hand on your chin rubbing your little tendrils, your little little fish whiskers. As you gesture to the manipulator arm to push the button and start cycling through like a predator on the hunt. And you clearly see that he is most likely, as it totally says on the screen, like 98.9% likelihood of biological unit using falsehoods.
And you can communicate with me at least, because I've got like an earpiece thing.
And for those
Earpiece
3
thing.
successes,
I don't remember what
can-
they call it in this version.
you can totally see that he has some very discreet cybernetics. Nothing that looks like top of the line, but he's got some minor reconstruction with some cybernetics. Like one of his ears and part of his face and jaw have been replaced with metallics.
Interesting.
And
How typical is that for letting him?
So I will. Yeah. I'll, go ahead.
What would you like for that big damn triumph?
Ow.
Before I tell you about those big damn threats.
Yeah. Unless somebody has something better, I'm thinking the financial records that you wanted me to look into. But I don't know what's
I like. If we were to say take his money, that could potentially,
I mean, you do
be
have his
a
biometrics.
bargaining chip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or you could, any of those things.
Yeah,
Because
We have one Letnev
I'm just
on
throwing
the
ideas
crew.
out there.
You could always put some fake fingertips on him and give him a wig with the wrong kind of hair.
Oh,
It's all-
so steal his biometrics, steal his identity.
You could totally do
Down
that
to
with
the
the equipment
Janes.
here. Especially
Yes.
since your buddy had the bank codes. I mean,
Yes. Steal identity, bank codes, and genetics, please.
oof.
Ooh, we're gonna pull a heist with this one.
As immediately you're pulling up all of his information, including his 23andMe card, so you've totally saved a copy of his biometrics. Of prisoner.
So how many of your crew was captured by these pirates?
As he tells you, at least maybe, and you totally see his fingers wiggling and the manacles are magnetized to the table. At least 32 of them were taken captive on the ship. So, some of them were in cryo, and for some reason, your sensors detect the number of prisoners is true.
Oh.
So he is referring to something true that did happen, just not his place on the roll.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you communicating that with us, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm.
What's the name of the guy in isolation? Whatever his name is, I mentioned that. It's like, so what do you know about your buddy so and so?
And he kind of like does this over dramatized rolling the name in his mouth, like Pazorn, Shorn, Pazorn. Oh, and he kind of gives a rough description of a Letnev, and he says, if it's who I think it is, I think, and he totally spits on the floor very uncharacteristically and says, I think that's one of the vile pirates that killed our captain and his family. You should execute them for piracy right off the bat.
So you had Letnev pirates within your ranks.
Unfortunately, and he gestures towards your friend, the Letnev, and says, the barony has had some issues in the past, and we all know of the Letnev amongst the Mentek collective. They are just nothing but swindlers, pirates, and Jacobites, or whatever this
Jacobites.
basically will
Just
be.
kind of glance back, like,
Unfortunately, honorable Letnib of the barony, like the two of us, are far and few between in this side of the galaxy. If only the barony would bring its justice to these places.
all right.
Are
How did
are
you
you?
find out he was a pirate?
I believe it was because he was accosting people like a foul fiend, taking advantage of of females and elderly.
How vile.
Are are you working on securing my freedom? Have you
We'll
reached out
see.
to my aunt? I provided her contact information to the warden's savant when they debriefed us at the prison.
Yes. Yes, we have all of your information, but we have not reached out to anybody.
Based on what he said about his aunts, like, we know that's not true, though, right? Because of the check we made
You are
earlier.
100% true that there is no aunt by that name in place, but there's someone he may call aunt at that place.
Yeah. It's like, no, we have all your information and banking. So we will use what we need to at the right time.
And he gets kind of silent there, especially when you mention the whole no one's been contacted. He gets very, he totally puts his head down on his hands and starts to make weepy noises. As he then kind of looks up and you've got no tears in his eyes, by the way. Letnev, they cry differently. Comes out somewhere else. That he kind of looks at you all and says,
Huh.
may I please have your information so that when I'm available I can send you correspondence as well."
And at that, I turn around and walk out.
You bang on the door for the guard outside to let you out.
Yep.
Yes. He totally looks across the table, Letnav to Letnav, and says, "Your friend is rather coarse for one with so much plumage."
Clever, but never assume you're the smartest person in the room, and then I'll turn and walk out.
Oh, as he's like, "Brother, can you at least unlock my manacles before you leave?"
I'll be back.
As he just looks
Doesn't
kind of
need to know
disheveled and
that.
kind of puts his head back in his hands and makes this exasperated expression / crying softly. How undignified.
Oh. And once we're out, I'll tell the
Now there
savant
are
if that's who they're
the
interacting
savant
with.
is there, and there's 2 guards, one on each doorway.
Okay. I'll tell one of the guards, give him about 5 and take him some water.
And the guy totally gives you that nod, the dude nod. Everybody
But
knows it.
keep him restrained. Just give him a long straw.
Yep.
And
I just said give him. I just said give him water. So I mean, if he can't figure out how to get to it, that's on him. But
he just totally gives you a check. Do not unmanacle the prisoner. Check.
So I figured set the ball in front of him. If he can't get to, it's there. We offered.
Dang.
It's all mind games.
And after
So
the
do you want
first
to
day
take
of
the same
dehydration,
approach with this
you
other
water
guy?
forward.
Similar. The line of questioning will be and conversation will be a little different, but still friendly to start.
Yep. You be the good one, I'll be the bad one if
And
necessary.
as you guys are switching, rooms,
Yeah.
Are 2 friends behind the curtain doing the same thing?
I'm gonna stay here and keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
I will go to monitor the other guy's biorhythms.
Okay.
See how much he sweats. Now
Yeah.
that he's got time to sit and think.
You
So
While
totally.
you watch for us.
So he mentioned dwindling supplies in his account. How flush is his account really?
That you'd have to ask the bank.
Oh,
Okay.
Rublars doesn't know that with all his information.
They unfortunately do not know for sure.
No exact numbers.
Damn bank.
Are we talking like 0 to 1,000,000, or like just like
It
no
would be
number
like
whatsoever?
maybe what's in your account, maybe what's in my account. It just is. It's the account info, not actual amounts. That would make their ID. That would make their business so much easier if they knew how much they could withdraw instead of just a small amount every month.
Okay.
You want a ramen noodle packet? That's $29.95, and that's before inflation. Oh, flavor packet not included. Neither is water or a cup. Go make me some more of those Coleman tents.
But I can find out. I just not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now's not a
You
good time.
totally could. Try to hack into the banking system in a prison. That would totally.
I
be some great
said
red
now's
flags.
not a convenient time.
Right,
What?
you're monitoring bio. We'll worry about banking
It's
later.
a victimless crime.
Yeah.
Some prisoner will get flagged for the crime.
It's a victimless crime, like punching someone in the dark.
So, I'll tell the guard while we're in the hallway there. I'm like, yeah, I need a couple waters or a couple drinks of tea or something, whatever Letinos might drink or like. One with a long straw, please.
As he totally says, for that one, you're gonna need something more too. The smell's pretty bad. You thought letting it smell bad on the outside? Good luck. And he totally tips his hat to you. As you're gonna go in there and interrogate. It's like he's totally giving you that from one bad cop to another bad cop. Good luck. I won't hear nothing.
Well, we appreciate that.
And as soon as the door kind of whooshes open, you literally smell fecal matter and urine.
Oh.
And you totally see this Letnev. He's got the same kind of manacles glued down, except for him, he's kind of like bent over the table, and they clink to the manacles to the table. So he's literally, bent over the side of the table with his face covered in filth. His clothes stink and covered in filth. Obviously, solitary does not include a shower.
Really?
And he just looks and goes, "Pox you, guards! Pox you! You're not getting any of my family's fortunes." And from his posture, you're getting like no doubt. This is not some high-ranking hoity-toity Letnev like you've seen in Keleres, where they're all prim and proper. And even when they're douchebags, they're prim and proper, which is the most annoying part. They insult you, and it took you a half second to realize how deeply they insulted you. And this guy just looks like a gutter snipe with Letnev heritage.
Alrighty.
And according to the documents, they think he's one of the ones in charge of the tent.
Okay. So I'll come in and sipping on my drink, and I'll sit the one with the straw on the table, but just out of his reach, and just kind of stand there for a bit and kind of stare at him, and then look back, get my buddy, and kind of stare at him some more.
As our dear Hyrule friend is turning on the monitor in the adjacent room, and you're seeing like smell-o-rama vision showing the aura of stink coming off of him in one spectrum. As says this
I don't know that
guy.
birds have a whole lot of smell, so I don't know that their smell is all that good. So
They have
I'm
nose
probably
holes.
not.
They just don't work that good. I mean, they don't have a capsaicin reaction, so that says something.
Right.
That's a superpower right there. I'm actually evolved to eat the peppers for the plant to expand its kingdom. So he basically is just cussing up a blue streak, and he's putting some words together in interesting ways you've never thought of them that way. At least not anatomically speaking.
At
I mean, that
me
one's just
or both
impossible.
of us,
He
or
basically is
just
throwing his insults at anything that moves, and he is under the false impression that you guys are guards. From what he's saying when he's spouting his little vitriol, he is totally thinking you guys are guards or prison staff.
Has he
Okay.
looked up yet?
He's kind of like strained because the problem is he's literally bent over presenting on the table when they clamped these cuffs down purposely. They treated this guy like shit. And he looks up and you see one of his eyes is definitely wrecked from some attention he's had over the last few weeks. You know, it looks like somebody's been wailing on his left eye.
Well, with his mouth, I don't blame him, but
I mean, thankfully
So-
the wounds look older than his prison stays, so the SAR may have worked him over too. But when you
Okay.
use a derogatory term on a SAR, usually there's some kind of recompense.
hmm So basically, just kind of stand there until he's done ranting. Just
And
don't
then-
say anything. Just stand there, sipping on my drink. Kind of stare at the one on the table.
You're kind of
Look at
just
him.
eyeballing him as he's just like working through this 40-minute rant, and then starts to go and slows down his rant and roll, as all of a sudden in the other interrogation room, looking through the X-ray screen, because he
Yeah,
did
it's a long
not
time
leave-
for him to sit alone.
Yep, he's like bored, playing tiddlywinks in the observation room because they've probably got cards in there to play. Go ahead and give me.
Yeah, if it takes this guy that long to cool down, I'm sure he's probably like, "Oh shit, what's going on?"
Knew you had to wind down eventually.
And
Mhm.
give me a perception check.
Perception. Ready?
Yep. Oh, you lucky bastard. Remember when I told our doctor that he had a mechanical ear?
Yeah.
That's not the only thing mechanical on him, but maybe our dear doctor didn't notice. There also seems to be in his left hand, which is currently manacled to the table, and he's kind of holding it flat down against the table, which might have been how it got disguised, because, metal object in your hand, you got it on a metal table, kind of just looks gray from a distance. You notice him like working his jaw at one point, and you think it may just be a tick until you turn the volume up. And you turn the volume up really high as you're hearing him mumble words. And it sounds at first to your furry ears like gibberish. He's saying word and then number and then word. And it takes a second for you to realize he's repeating what he's saying. And it's not like a religious mantra. It's more like, for those that have seen Blade Runner, their stupid cells spiel that they have to repeat verbatim, or they may be a replicant. It sounds kind of like that spiel that he keeps going over and over and over saying. And you notice with the instruments left on as they were, that apparently there's radio waves coming from his synthetic ear.
Oh
And
boy.
in that poem that I was telling you about that had metallic objects, it could be, you're not quite sure. You've seen, synthetic hands that have tools, but this seems to be like the most toned down version ever, where the tools are barely perceptible in the hand. as your dear friend who rolled those 3 threats was kind of focusing on the truth and dares and truth and lies of things, you picked out the hand because you just noticed he wiggled it like he was getting ready to do something. And on the x-ray, you see 2 of his fingers, little metallic things slide up out of his fingertips. You totally think it's probably like lock picks or, a lock breaker.
Mm.
But he's not using them. He just pulled them out and then shoved and then pushed with his other free hand back in, just to test to see if they're working out okay.
And we're detecting radio signal?
You're detecting radio signal from his mechanical ear. So he's talking to someone in some kind of very complex code.
In that case, I am going to record the radio signal and also the audio.
Okay, there's totally the big record button at the bottom of the screen. Click! And it starts recording everything you see.
Let's see. We all have comms, right? I'm not the only person with
Yeah.
comms, right? Perfect.
No, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the, what is it?
Comm
Your
beat.
Combeat in this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think my whatchamacallit access one as well. What the hell is it? Not the savant, the familiar? No, the savant, right?
Yeah. The Combeat's like a earpiece kind of thing.
It's like an air,
Well, it's a
iPod.
handheld. The Combeat's a handheld.
Isn't the
Right.
Combeat?
Yeah.
I thought that was the
Comm
one
beat
that goes
is
in
in
your
your
ear.
ear.
It's a beat. Yeah. It's
The pellet that you basically put in your ear like
Yeah.
hearing aid.
In your butt.
Okay.
Yeah. I got one of those.
Yeah, the familiar
Yeah.
is basically like an iPad or tablet.
Okay, I'm gonna let them
Or-
know we have some
or-
activity with this prisoner.
What do you say?
Looks like the prisoner is that I'm currently watching is not particularly thirsty, but does seem to be trying to get a signal out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take one cycle of him doing his complex code and also the radio waves, and I'm gonna use my savant to forward that along to Rublars to maybe
scan for
figure
stuff.
out. Well, to maybe try to decode, really.
Well, scan this guy to see if he's receiving.
Yeah. And yeah, like record it for a cycle, then jam if you can.
Yeah. But then, Rubelar, scan to see if you can pick up any devices and or signals from this room while we're sitting here watching him rant.
Absolutely, yes.
And see if he basically stops ranting once he starts, if he is receiving, if that's when he finally stops ranting.
Okay, go ahead and give me a
So.
quick computers check, as you're just like, gotcha. We'll see if that sneaky bastard's doing something in here, like that sneaky
Okay.
bastard over there.
Okay, is it ready?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
For 4
Jeez.
successes, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt there are no radio signals with the exception of your friends in that room coming out of that room or going in. This guy
So
does
he's-
have some mechanical limb stuff that's been done to him, but it looks more like medical replacement as opposed to anything like communications or intelligence amplifying.
Okay.
And
This
it
feller's
looks-
got no intelligence.
It looks like shitty work. Whoever replaced his leg bones did the absolute minimum amount of work.
I mean, I care more about my patients than he does.
And you
Yeah,
don't care at all.
Exactly.
So, all right. So once he finally stops or simmers down, it's a great technique for upset customers. Just sit and listen to them rant until they stop talking. Then they're
As-
like, "Are you still there?" Like,
As-
"Oh no, I was just waiting to hear what you had to say."
Yep, he finally
Um,
breaks and he's just like exhaustedly panting.
Before we go too far, For the
Triumph.
triumph, can I decode the
Oh, yeah. What did you want
message?
for the triumph?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Can I decode the message?
Because he has what
He has
is
the
actually
brain.
being said, and he has the signal. So, powerful enough computer system, he should be able to decrypt it.
Yeah. And then shut it down.
So immediately you're picking up that from the recording in your tank, you're listening to it, and he can't hear you listening to it, and you're just like, that's totally a cipher. That's like the Gregorian cipher used by the Empire thousands of years ago, only it's updated and more random. And you start pushing some buttons in your tank with your familiar to try to figure it out, and immediately you figure out the frequency and the words totally give you to believe that someone is using an old code from the Empire, and the only time you've heard anything even close to it, with your now familiar understanding, is L1Z1X communication codes.
Again?
Oh, dang.
Oh.
That
But you're not
surprised me.
detecting, like, the probe shoved in the head. It's not that complicated. It's someone actually giving a cipher, which is basically giving them a 21-word message in code. And you're kind of breaking the code message out is basically comes down to, from what you've, just doing quick shorthand, is the planet that you're currently on, prison, and Keleres
Oh.
are what you figured
I
out
knew
so
that was
far
going to be the
just
last bit.
with quick
Yeah.
shorthand.
We're being snitched on.
So
Okay.
can
Yeah.
I
L1.
Shut that down.
can I block that signal?
Unfortunately, the prison does not have the equipment to do that. If you have any kind of signal jammer on the ship you want to bring over, you totally can. But the prison does not have that technology.
By
I
the
tell you
time
what,
I
if it comes
bring-
down to it, I got a technology to stop the transmission.
That's
Yeah,
Called a
knife in the air.
polymorphic prybar.
And,
Knife in the air.
and just as you guys are having this quick conversation there on the go, and your friend's totally giving you the 411 saying, hey dude, he's transmitting a message, here is the message, and you guys decipher the message. Just as Karik is doing that with you guys and doing his little, do I have my earbud in my ear or not, because I have bird ears, all of a sudden, out of kind of nowhere, you notice the prisoner is now up on his feet, the one that you've been recording. You kind of turned your back to him for a second there, and all of a sudden Harag's talking to you guys, getting all intense, like, dudes! And he manages to, with the success and the triumph, he undid his manacles and got up, and he's literally facing, even though he doesn't know where you are, he's facing the one-way mirror, and you can just hear him say, I know you're watching me. So are they.
Dude, maybe we need to get back over there for a moment.
Yeah, I could use one of you guys.
And
Be
it's
nice to be
super
nice.
creepy the way he's giving 1,000-yard stare. And as he's doing that, all of a sudden you see like a small trickle of blood out of his side of his ear that you know that's cybernetic. And he like sneezes, and then blood splatters at the sneeze all over the see-through wall. And he falls to the ground.
Oh. Well, I guess you don't need us after all.
Yeah. I'm
Guess I don't
gonna.
need those bank codes either.
Yeah.
Rublev, see if you can revive him.
Ooh.
Or at the very least, figure out what the hell happened with his cybernetic. Could be another one of those mind spikes. I know how
Can I
much you
go
like
back?
those.
I do like mind spike.
No, I'm sure that he did his message and then used a self-destruct of some kind, or they activated some kind of self-destruct.
Yeah, I'm not putting any urgency on this. They're definitely dead.
No, we got time. So
If anything, I'm about ready to go in there, put a shot through her chest just to make sure.
now that he's down, I'll go in there. Before that, he's like, "Yeah, I can have you guys get back over here." Now it's like, "Oh, he's down. I'll go."
Oh, never mind. I got this. I got this.
It's a safety thing, you know.
He's so brave.
You don't know
You're so
any
brave.
mechanical skeleton ripping its way free of the flesh to come fight you in the inevitable mechanical uprising. Or would that be the mechanical zombie uprising?
Yeah, your sacrifice and bravery is so great. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, he noticed stuff.
He noticed stuff.
He noticed some important stuff, so I'm not going to trash talk that.
Y'all would have come out of the prison cell and probably had a dead guard and an open door going, "Where the fuck did he go?" But no, somebody stayed behind to watch.
Yeah, that was...
We got some command decision mid-level material here.
We got some smart people.
All right.
So
work for
let's
Keleres.
get this guy.
So this guy here, so he finally shut up. So I slide the water into where he can get to the straw.
As he totally does table yoga, because, again, his ass is up in the air practically.
Yeah.
He tries to do the mouth thing of trying to, with some dignity, get the straw in his cake hole and slurp down as much as quickly as possible. And then
neighbor,
this water smells of sea creatures and seaweed.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So you've had a rough time, it looks like, there, neighbor.
You don't know the half of what I've had to do just to stay alive.
Yeah?
I've captained ships full of men to bring blood and death to those who stand up to my piracy.
Yeah? And
I am
who
the
are you working
defiler
for?
of women across the galaxy. I work for myself. I want my own freedom and my men's freedom. I will negotiate for rates if you set my men free.
So that was your ship that you evacuated?
I believe ship ownership is more of a liquidity issue. But yes, I was in the engineering room running my ship at the time.
So who was giving the commands?
I was from engineering, yes. I was in the engineering section checking on that Letnev witch that we left tied to the engines to explode. That was funny, yes. She had it coming. She wouldn't shut up, so we figured the only thing loud enough to drown out her screams would be an exploding reactor core.
Yes, had similar experiences with her.
And he kind of gives you like a quirky look, like, what?
She can run her mouth for sure.
That's impossible. She's dead. The ship would have blown itself up just as we planned.
I'm going to kneel down within his field of vision and do you have any idea who we are?
You're lapdogs of the Keleres. I see you wear the uniform and he wears the badge. Ooh, what are you going to do? Try us for crimes against the barony? That's a joke.
Do you remember what happened to those men who got in my way on the ship?
And he squints his eyes and looks kind of like he's trying to read your expression right now.
And so I'll go ahead and reveal the brandish the hilts of the pointer.
So do me a favor, the two of you together, give me a vigilance check.
So you said you have a blue, so that should be additional blue to me, or 2 blue because you have a blue and then a blue for the assist.
Yeah, it's 2 green and a blue is what I have.
So I guess it should be 2 blue for the assistant. Oof.
Yep.
All right.
And I take it you're using the swords in a threatening manner?
Yeah, I'm totally going like the coercion gunslinger
This is
diplomacy.
just
I
for
was gonna say.
vigilance. This is just vigilance.
Okay.
This isn't negotiations.
So jumping right into the
Yeah, I like that.
bad cop didn't even give me a chance at good
Oof.
cop. Jeez.
This guy's boring me.
Oh, let me put the upgrade in. Don't roll yet. Okay, make your roll.
There we go.
Okay, so the 2 successes, before you even tell me what you want the advantage of, this guy is trying to push so much false bravado into what he's saying. He's rolling over himself with lies. And you both look at each other and you know this guy, you look down at his hands and you see he's got grease monkey hands. You know, he's got that oil perma mark under his fingernails. He's got some cracks and busted knuckles from doing engine work. He is not some pirate king. He's somebody who may have seen a chick in the engineering room, but pretty much everything he's bolstering about is all bullshit lies. And you both kind of like smirk at each other and see right through his shit. And I don't even want to know what a beak smirk looks like.
Probably unpleasant.
Right?
Probably more of a Howard the Duck eye movement.
What are you doing with your advantage real quick?
And you got your advantage.
So we clearly, does he realize that we know that he's full of it?
If you'd like to spend the 2 advantage on that, he will not.
I'd rather play along so he doesn't know because I have some other conversation to bring up.
Okay, but maybe I'll take a boost on my coercion roll.
Okay, so you want to let it slip that you guys give each other the look, or are you keeping that secret?
Well, we'll keep that part secret, but you know, when I definitely got down to one knee and showed the poignard and, you know, implied that I had cut a swath through his crew.
And he's like, I don't even know you. Did I sleep with your sister once?
Listen up, chum. I've had just about enough of your filthy mouth, so spill it and make it the truth, because believe me, we'll know when you're lying.
Besides, his sister would eat you alive. I would know.
Well, I'm thinking maybe we bring Baroness, whatever her name is, in, and I'm sure she would have a grand time repaying your favors.
Ooh, you name drop too?
Oh, I do.
Damn, I'll give you a free upgrade for that. So who's making what skill roll and what do I need to add?
Well, I was going to do coercion with a boost, right. And then you said there upgrade.
Yep. Anything else I got to add? And
brandishing. Oh no, I've already got all the brandishing stuff on there.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I added the extra bit, so whatever that's giving us, because
that's
why I wasn't ready to
go
with coercion, because I wanted to work some stuff yet.
Just to make life interesting.
All right. Okay, so upgrade, and then what do you add to my roll as assist? What's your coercion roll?
Coercion.
Probably just a blue die.
My coercion is 2 yellow.
Okay, so basically just add another upgrade on it, Jim.
Okay.
Oh damn.
Nice. As these guys are getting fucking brutal with the interrogation.
Oof.
Damn. It's exhausting. You're spitting into your chartreuse in the face. When the blue changes tone into almost, purple chartreuse, you know you're exhausted. So take a point of strain. But
Yeah.
eventually, it takes no time at all for you guys to break this guy. He's just like, enough, enough. I'll tell you everything. Just stop. Just turn down the lights. Just give me more water. Just uncuff me so I can sit in the chair like a sentient being.
Yeah.
Then
We'll leave
start
the Baron on
talking
the ship
sense.
I was just the engineer on that ship. I was one of the 5 engineers that know a spanner from our assholes so we could work in the engine rooms. I I'm not really the captain. The captain, yeah, he didn't get off the ship from what we heard, but his brother said if 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 I didn't play that I was the man in charge and deny any information and snitch on no one, that he would murder me and my younger brother.
Hmm.
They they got put in the general population so they could see about getting us all free. Apparently, apparently, the first mates had friends in the Mentak coalition that would help them spring out of jail.
Hmm.
I
And
just
who
had
were
to keep my mouth shut and not say anything, and we'd all be safe. And oh my
who was your
God!
crew working for?
And he's just like we were working for some benefactors who were paying us. They would give us cash for slaves, and if we brought any ships back intact, they would give us top credits for the ships because they had some plan for wanting to use ships of different species, probably
Hmm.
to and he totally kind of like thinks about everything he's seen over the last couple weeks. He's not a big thinker, but he thinks about it. And he's just like, I don't know who's hiring us. I just know that they were mysterious as shit, and only the captain and the first mate spoke with them.
Yeah.
They
And who
always
was the
used the
first mate?
and he's like, Chorgon. And you got like, but you're Chorgon. He's like, no, I took the first mate's name and was pretending that it was me that was the first mate, just so
So
just so they wouldn't find him in the group that went to general population because they turned on some of our other pirate colleagues with where they're based out of.
What name's he going by now?
the
And
guy that's dead.
Was that guy? Was that the one?
as he says, he goes by currently they call him prisoner 842482K5. He was going with the name
Yep.
John.
And that's the guy next
He's
door.
in general
Yep.
population. He's the one you want to talk to, not me. I don't know anything. I've shat myself in that cell because they don't even give you a bucket.
And are these benefactors who gave you this shoddy cybernetics?
And he kind of like looks at his legs and says, "Cybernetics. I just have metal bone grafts on my legs. I have no cybernetics.
Hmm.
I wish I could afford cybernetics."
I'll reach over and pull his head down and look at the back of his neck,
Looks like a filthy head.
but none of the signs that we've seen for the implants or anything.
Give me a perception look. I'll give you a free upgrade because you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
As he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought you would let me free. Keleres
Let
is
me know when
supposed to
you're.
be the it's ready. Keleres is supposed to be the good guys." As you're just like you thumb the back of his head and part his hair, checking for lice, and it looks perfectly fine.
Okay.
You find a couple lice, but everything else is perfectly fine.
Does he have cybernetics?
Nah,
I mean, I'd
just
be
the
able to
metal
see
stuff.
He
that.
looks like he's had bone grafts that involve having metal plates put in his legs and feet, but it looks like due to some kind of medical accident.
Okay.
I mean, if he was
Okay.
working an engine, ship blows up, people fall off, ladders.
Yep. Where was the last location or planet or station that your ship was at before this all went down?
And he kind of like looks around and says,
And you're doing good. Don't screw it up. I can foresee a shower and a meal in your future
as he's just like, I
and
will
protection.
I will tell you everything I know if you just unconnect the binder so I can sit in the chair like a sentient being and not an animal.
I'll wait for the guard or knock for the guard to come in and
Oh,
adjust the binders
there's
so he can sit up.
totally a button you can
Unless
push
we
if
can
you
do
want.
it. Okay, then I will adjust it so he can not release him, but adjust him so he can be a human being and order more water for him.
You lower the magnet, and he like slides the magnetized cuffs across the table, leaving a big scratch, but managed to get his butt in the chair. As he's like, we were based out of Colonial Charts TV LV 427.
LZ, huh?
How many other vessels are you aware of, and their names?
The admiral there has 8 ships total, not counting. I guess only 7 now that we've lost our ship. He's going to kill
Admiral of
us for
Pirates.
losing. He goes by the admiral. He's a Hyrule who apparently is an expert in how to disable ships using just the power of his mind and technologies.
Mm-hmm.
From your escape pod, a Letnev ship arrived, and there was a conflict. What's that? What do you know about that ship?
Oh, the Baroness's regret. That was a Letner ship we've had communications with and contact before. Apparently, the captain has some kind of arrangement with the captain of that ship. The
connection.
Okay.
What's? Oh,
The only thing I'm sure of is the captain would get really lucrative scores from them, and then we would sell them anything that they would request off the ships first. And then he would give us coordinates to meet a cargo ship that would pick up the rest of the things, including any people that were still alive.
and his relationship to the admiral?
I don't know about the admiral. I just know that our captain had a relationship with them. The admiral, I'm sure, knew something about it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the
So-
admiral. Some of the rumors say on the ships that he secretly monitors any communications you have in closets. Somewhere the sick little Hyrule has video of crewmates sneaking off the closets and having a little too much fun, if you know what I mean.
So you say the 5, the one gentleman, and the other 4 in Gin Pop, they are part of that leadership in Cabal?
No, unfortunately, the 5 of us that got put in solitary were all low-level members of the crew, but we were ordered
Right.
that we
But
had
the ones
to
in Gin
pretend.
Pop that went together.
The 3 of them are
they're part of-
officers. One is the first mate, and the other is my little brother, who they're going to kill or do something worse if I don't keep the charade going.
Okay.
Please don't tell him that I told the truth, or please
No.
see if you can buy my brother's freedom with my account and his.
You've done quite well. We appreciate the turn of behavior. As mentioned, I will see that you are provided better care, food, and a shower and a clean cell. We appreciate it. And I'll turn around and walk out.
As he just
Space Ghost thanks you.
he just kind of mumbles. He says, "You Keleres are better than they say you are. Please, please." And like the last thing is the door slams. You just hear him say, "Save my little brother."
All right.
And I'm assuming you follow out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
After I say Space Ghost thanks you.
So, tell the guards, put him in a clean solitary cell, get him cleaned up, give him a good meal, some good and some drink. Put the other 4 that are in the room together into solitary.
So
nothing.
that's gonna take giving this guy, because this guy like threw poop at one of the guards. So give me some skill roll. Most likely, I'm thinking leadership or charm, or
It
even
would
deception.
have to be charm for me. Or what?
Or you can even do
just
deception and lie that he's told you everything. VIP pirate, blah blah blah.
Yeah. No. All I can do is charm, be nice, be like, hey, look, the guy came clean. He was being coerced and forced to act this way. So.
And I'll corroborate that and help you with that.
Yeah. So I will use charm.
He totally squints at your Letnev compatriot who chimes in. He's like, "You sure this isn't a Letnev trick?"
No. We're sure you will find that your guards allowed his partner in the other room that was part of the 5 that were grouped has killed themselves. So you might want them to go take a look.
As the guard you're talking to, he looks at the other guard that's at the next cell door, and he's like, "We have a possible 527! 527!" And immediately he looks at you like, "How do you know he killed himself? Please tell me you weren't in the room when it happened."
You saw we were in here the whole time. So don't touch the body.
As he totally gives you through his visor a wink. "Yeah, I saw you wink." Good thing it was all recorded.
But yes, move the 4 that are together into solitary immediately.
You got it. And he basically looks at the savant and uses an access code to make the savant do it as well. And he basically sends the savant out and sends a radio signal that the warden savant is coming with a priority code. Please extract the 5 prisoners from Gen Pop and put them into individual isolated cells.
Well, 4 now, right?
Scan them for any transmissions.
Yeah, for any transmitting devices.
As he's like, but
planted cranially.
Cranially?
Or in the ear.
Well, just that's the whole head.
Captain Crease on a cracker.
Cranium.
You don't check the brains first?
If you need assistance with the scanning and check, get with our compatriot, Roblox, right? Roblox, is that right?
Yeah.
He will assist in their scans and checks as they go into solitary.
As they start scrambling
Snap 2.
their ass.
And we go to the other room to go check the body.
The guard to that door totally opens the door and is just kind of like standing there a little shocked, squeezing his stun stick, which is totally doing that whole Demolition Man stun juice. As he just looks and sees the guy sneezed blood all over the wall and then collapsed to the ground with blood coming out of his nose and ear.
If we could just find out where the transmission was going, that might.
Yeah. Well, that's where we can get the device and do some potential additional inspection on it. We don't need the body. We just need the transmission device to do some additional research on it.
And you definitely see when his body's on the ground, the face is a little misshapen, like there's structural damage done.
Yeah, but we got a really smart high roll that might be able to repair things to make it get what he needs.
Yeah.
And we have a guy that can repair things just like Nothing.
Okay, is our high roll gonna go ahead and examine the body? Rublars, Dr.
Yes.
Rublars. As you
I
get the little
am.
Brock,
doctor show montage.
Joseph, you have that thing where you can repair something, right?
Oh,
I can repair or damage something. Yeah.
So if the thing got damaged when it went off or whatever, maybe you could put it back together.
Yeah, maybe.
okay.
Yeah, if you guys want to do something productive. Oh, no. Besides what you've already done.
So
Generally
Okay.
speaking, it's a racial power that's meant to be used on large things, not on really small things that are delicate.
Oh my gosh.
And just blown up with a micro explosive,
That too.
thereby
Hey,
using
Becky,
the
Becky.
cybernetics as frag.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
one of those things
Well,
where it's
it's
like,
totally
oh,
burnt. Well, it's totally burnt out then.
yeah.
Maybe.
Like this is a power where it's like, oh, this door her access panel is malfunctioning. Boop, let's fix that.
Okay.
Pull,
So I'll
pull
show
a
them.
Scotty
Oh,
and hit it just right.
doors show off.
Yeah.
Fine. So I'll show them, like, look, I don't know what kind of shoddy operation you're running here, but I show them the ear, I show them the hand, and pull out my blade and cut, showing the cybernetics in the hand and stuff. It's like,
Oh.
I don't know how he got through without this being identified.
And the guard makes
Can
a
you give-
pukey kind of noise when you just filleted the guy's fingers.
Yeah.
So, doctor, give me a medicine check.
Okay, I spent the story point to use my vast intellect.
Uh-oh.
Once per session, you may spend a story point as an incidental before your character makes a skill check to count their ranks in the skill being used as equal to their intellect. So
Nice.
I get 2 upgrades.
His big brains all pulsing and throbbing and
2 upgrades.
You didn't have to say the word throbbing.
And you know what? I'm gonna give you a blue because you saw what this thing looked like before it blew up in his face.
Oh, nice.
So you have before and after pictures.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yep. And
Look at that
pretty
mass
much
intellect.
with a quick glance, you look at him and you diagnose that looks like he had a transmitter for an ear, and he may have been sending signals and receiving signals, except he received a signal that set off probably a self-destruct device. He probably
Can you tell
didn't
if
even
it's
know it was in there.
Does it look like? Can you identify if it's L1 Z1 technology?
With that many successes, yes. And it looks
Okay.
very familiar to the L1Z's latest models of cybernetics.
Huh.
Very strikingly similar.
Ooh.
Nice. So they're updating their game, and then with the 3 threats, he bursts a freaking blood vessel on his forehead.
Well, what's going to happen as he pokes one of the spots, all of a sudden there's this arcing sound, and this acrid smoke comes out, and all of a sudden the face bursts into flames.
Ooh.
As the rest of
Hey.
the mechanical device finishes its little self-destruct.
Did I get enough information that I can give the warden an idea what to look for so that they can check the rest of their prisoners?
Oh, heck yeah. With the x-ray screen on the
Yeah.
wall, you could easily walk their basic crew through now with the details to find any of these devices with an easy roll. Because you're just like, here's what the thing looks like in powered off mode. That's probably why they snuck through with it, because it was powered down. Here's what
Yeah.
it looks like when it's powered on. And oh yeah, here's a picture of what it looks like when your face explodes.
Without identifying that it's L1.
Right. Okay. I mean, unless you can recognize
We don't need that fear going around right now.
I mean, there's different races that have that kind of technology. There's plenty of Federation of Souls Special Forces guys that have got wet work shit wired in their brains that are
Yeah.
on par with that.
Yeah. So they don't need to know the actual origin.
And the doctors are like, we'll scan for that, but what should we do if we find one?
I'd let us know immediately.
Yeah, yeah. I've got experience taking stuff out of brains.
Mostly the brains.
And you even had a patient survive through it, too.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, and he's had at least one survive.
And that's why they call it medical practice. Okay, so there's this montage of the doctors taking scanners and slowly going through the entire prison.
Them bastards again.
Thankfully, they did not find anyone else that had any said mechanical devices. The warden is just like, I'm so sorry. He just exploded when you walked out of the interrogation room. I personally know exactly how that feels. I've had a prisoner have a rupture of their something something, and then when I left the room, it exploded.
Yeah. Well, how did he get in with that technology?
Fortunately, we were told that they were completely scanned on entryway, and
Who told you?
the people who surrendered them to our facility here, the Sahar.
And so you felt no need to run your own scan? You just trust? Oh, tra-la-la.
The Sahar? Really?
Hey, rude.
This seems
So
not
even
a
the other
very...
four from that little group of five,
The
the other four didn't have
four
it.
you find out is in fact the younger brother of that engineering guy who's filthy. And he knows nothing other than he's the youngest Letnev of the group, and they basically took him as a hostage to make his brother comply. The other three are officers, and they're just like, hey, we're pirates. We just doing our job. We didn't know where the captain and the first mate got their jobs or their intel, but the intel was almost always spot on until that last job that turned sour fast. Some pilots did some shenanigans and managed to catch us flat-footed.
Which sounds possible. So that leaves us. This may have been the only L1, but we don't know about the captain because I don't think we ever checked him that close.
Didn't have any reason to at the time.
You
No, I
left him on the ship to be blown up.
Yeah.
Well,
But we know at least one contact was driving that, but we know where they're operating out of, so there's obviously other ones at that location.
is there any way to trace that signal that he was sending out?
Unfortunately, it was sent on a very broadband signal. It was encrypted, so it was sent using basically standard planetary communications. So it gets stored in the node and then disseminated when the node does updates.
I was going to say, what's the range on something like that?
Basically planetary.
Okay, so, but then the node transmits it outward.
Yeah.
So it really could have gone anywhere.
It kind of shotguns in a huge direction until it goes to the right node it's looking for.
So, well, the main thing we got is the
don't
admiral
forget,
and the location.
You should be kind of shocked that someone sent a message and within 30 minutes sent back a signal for it to blow up.
Remember,
Remember,
had to have been close then.
Communication time sucks in Twilight Imperium.
Yeah,
it's quicker to fly a ship weeks to drop a message off than to wait for the communications packet to arrive.
Yeah. So there's somebody here still that has some of that, and unfortunately, we he's probably not going to like it, but we're going to need to scan the entire prison workforce.
Or if we had the whatchamacallit, the transmission signal, we could scan for anything similar outside of the prison as well.
Yeah, but it could have been as close as inside the prison.
It
Or
could have been.
a ship parked at the edge of the solar system.
It could be too.
Yeah,
Or
Can
worse,
we
it could have been a
send a-
savant set to transmit the message.
Right.
You
Can-
receive.
So that's where we need
But-
to scan for the technology
but-
on the prison first. Why go scan the edge of the system when it could be right here before we go that far?
Oh yeah. I mean, just throwing ideas.
So
Can
who
we
is
yeah,
send?
start-
Can
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can we send a dummy signal using what we have of what we gathered, all the details on the signal? Can we set up a dummy signal and see, and with a tracker to see where it gets received, where it gets
Bounced back from, yeah.
Where it
Yeah.
gets pinged. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Ooh, that's
Because you have the
a
signal.
good one.
yeah.
So I
love it.
will say that's gonna be formidable. That's 4 purple, but you totally have the big brain and the quick upgrade skills to pull something like that off.
I should not have wasted my vast intellect on the medical check now.
That's
but
okay.
Medical check was perfect.
I'm still, yeah.
I'll assist.
I mean, I love the 3 threat I got so I could destroy the bodies. You know.
We trust your ability.
Okay.
You're good. We got
What-
you got it.
I'll assist you.
Anything's
Okay.
possible.
I mean,
Am I
half the
doing
question.
computers?
Yep. Half the question we're asking is it actually possible with high-level, high-roll computer and mathematics to do such a thing?
That's true.
This should be impossible.
Oh,
It would take a
nothing's impossible.
genius mathematician and computers and scanning experts. An expert, I tell you.
Okay.
So we got an
Oh,
expert.
As we're all waiting on bated breath.
And you, so there's that upgrade there, and I'll add a blue
Yeah.
for helping.
Okay.
Let me add the
Excellent.
blue. Don't roll
Okay.
yet. Okay, the blue is in.
Okay, here it goes.
Oh!
So close.
Oh.
As you attempt to do it, and you totally are putting your best communications, slicing, hacking powers to work. You even have your, Letnev friend there join in there and tell you some of the Letnev alphabet. Probably annoys you because it distracted you. But it wasn't a detriment.
But he's helping.
So what would you
Can you
like
trade
for the
advantage to
4
try again?
advantage?
Or
Oh, I was
Can-
thinking. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking unless your idea is better, I was thinking for those advantage, can I at least tell whether it went off planet or if it had to have been received on planet?
That was what I was gonna say. Can he get a general range?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on turnaround time, whether prison, planetary, or orbital system for
So,
3.
You
Or
know,
try again.
you know
Or
for,
try again.
for 3 of them, you know for a fact the signal bounced off planet. And
Okay.
you're fairly certain it had to come from somewhere on one of the 2 moons of this planet.
There we go. Boom.
All right,
Okay.
close enough.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
Close
it down.
enough for government work.
And then you still have 1 extra advantage there.
Oh. Don't have threat because I don't have strength because all of my threats were horrible.
They were so big of a threat, they were horrible actions. No
So,
strain, but
can
I
I
watched the
just-
face burn in front of my. But that's okay. I'm jaded already.
But all I was thinking was, how can I repeat that effect? Can I just forward a blue to the next person who rolls?
Sure.
Okay, I will forward a blue.
So someone is going to have to give me a roll to convince the prison staff to scan the staff.
Oh yeah, that's not
All right.
They will gladly
And give-
scan the inmates, but they will not scan their personnel. All of a sudden, like a union rep pops up out of somewhere saying, "This is unconstitutional to scan my people. They have shown no disciplinary breaks. Your guests
Law enforcement
blew up
having
people's
unions
faces."
is also unconstitutional. Get fucked, loser.
Well, I think at this point, I don't know if it's as critical. I don't know that that might be an issue. It may just be that guy. Now that we know it's planetary, so or it's off
I
planet.
could at least give the roll a shot.
I
Sure.
mean, you never know. I mean,
And that way you can
Oops.
use up the blue, and we don't have to remember it.
So yeah, we just want to make sure that you're totally safe there, Warden, and no nefarious actions come back on your operation.
and I'm pretty sure, our high roll friend is making sure there's no, L and Z spikes in the back of people's heads as part of the scan.
And
Right.
trust me,
Yes.
you're going to want to do the scan. This is not something you want laying around, so I strongly advise you to do so.
Yeah, your cooperation will again be highly noted with Keleres.
May even keep people from further investigating your operation.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Or maybe a
It's a whole-
lucrative career with, a contract with Keleres to take their prisoners on the cheap.
That's
Go ahead and make your.
Can I keep an eye out for how people are looking when they hear about the idea of us scanning the staff?
Ooh, you definitely
personnel.
can give me a vigilance or a perception for that.
I mean, go ahead and have Christopher still do his thing.
Yeah. Well, I think
this
it's
isn't me.
going to be Evan doing a convincing the warden to scan his people.
Yeah, Evan.
Yeah, I was going to try to
So I've got the
leadership
blue
it.
die there.
Oh,
Hey!
dang.
Nice.
Against
Against
all
the
odds.
warden's
Wow.
freaking 3 red.
Wow. Awesome.
So needless to
James
say,
is learning what it's like to be us now.
Right.
when you point out the fact that this guy had cybernetics in his head and he's been communicating with someone offsite, and someone blew up a small explosive the size of like half your pinky fingernail, and then his face burst into flames. Well, mainly the video footage of the face bursting into flames was
Yeah.
pretty convincing of him, and he's just like grabs the guard, grabs the savant, grabs his assistant, and says, "Everyone pick up a scanner and scan right now!" And that's just for your 3 successes and advantage there. What would you like for the triumph?
Any suggestions, anyone?
I mean, can upgrade his vigilance and or perception.
Yeah,
Really
you could
no
totally
need
use it
for that.
for
I'm
I'll
just
use
throwing it
the-
out there.
I tell you what, though,
Anything
I'll
can
pass.
happen.
I'll pass the blue with the advantage, and so now we know that the signals come in from one of the moons. Let's. I want the warden to put his full. Is all his resources at our disposal while we're conducting this investigation.
Okay, in that case, he calls the communications tower and he makes them completely avail themselves to you. If somebody wants to use like the communications tower to try to track down that signal, I would totally let you do that roll again, because you now have a very powerful communication system for hunting fugitives, or blowing up fugitives if need be. And he has the entire staff bending over backwards to please all of you guys, because you've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt the dude had hardware in his head and it exploded and then lit his head on fire.
And
And
they let
so-
all that happen.
And think of how long that head burnt before they opened the door. There's a grease stain
So
in
he's
the
a-
ceiling.
And it
So
was
he's
their
essentially
failure that let this all happen.
This is true.
yeah. So he's essentially now just like the triumph there says. It's pretty much So, yeah, his full resources at our disposal while we're conducting the investigation, and pass a blue to Parag,
Okay, so
or
Harag,
to whoever goes next.
go ahead and give me that perception or vigilance.
It's gonna be perception. I know what I'm about.
I cannot believe I rolled that.
No success. Wow,
Yeah.
this purple. Oh,
Wait. Oh.
See?
No, there was. Oh, no.
You should have offered that upgrade.
Wait.
So,
did it come with an automatic success, or why is there
It-
a
it
success?
Well,
did.
but that
Yep.
was even canceled.
because
Oh.
there's enough
Well,
failures to
man.
eat it up.
Oh.
So,
all the failures that should have been on those red dice showed up on these purple.
So I've got
Yeah,
a great
well, I
thing
still
for
stand by my
your
decision.
triumph there, but you see no one caring about the scanners.
Okay. Well, what do you got for the triumph?
For your triumph, you have single-handedly, with your perception, broken the prison smuggling ring for getting communications devices, narcotics, other contraband, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, because you'd be surprised how much a human will pay for one of those when stuck in an alien world. You have broken with your perception roll of just watching people. As soon as they hear about scanners, people start handing stuff to the cell next door, to stash in Timmy's cell down the way, and then slowly hand stuff back down the cells. And you break the narcotics and contraband ring in this prison.
Nice. They're smuggling crustables. Great.
Okay. Quick question. How much money could I really get out of the guards that are part of it?
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, are you gonna shake
Listen.
them down rather than turn them out?
Yeah, listen, they're prisoners, but like, they still gotta have their PB&Js. They still gotta have their drugs.
don't.
Like, I'm not gonna stop them from doing that.
If you basically do the give me scratch and I look the other way, you could get 7,000 credits.
Holy
Wow.
shit!
As all of a
Nice.
sudden, those that have cash currency start piling the shit up to give you a hatful of cash. As literally one of the guards hands you a prison helmet full of 7,000 credits, saying,
Jim,
"Take this."
do you want to review how much 7,000 credits is
No.
in this system?
You just broke a fucking crime ring.
How do you think that this place is
In the-
getting so rich? So now you're part of the whole corruption of this prison. Great.
It's like
I know
the end
nothing.
of It's a Wonderful Life.
No,
I
I'm not
know
part of the
nothing.
corruption. I'm simply $7,000 richer, and I have removed
Because you're part of the corruption
$7,000.
and allowing it to continue and being part of it by taking a bribe to not. So yeah, I know nothing about any of this.
And the
I
worst
have
part
removed
is
$7,000 worth of liquidity from this illicit market.
I fully support this robbery, if you want to call it that.
it's called a
I have no
fleecing
problem with it.
or a blackmail. And about 3 of the 7 wads of cash, each one's like 1,000 credits wad, smells horrible. Just gonna let you know.
Hey,
don't
that's
know-
what
don't call it
You
money
don't know
laundering
where
for
they
no
put
reason.
it, but they each
Beat you to
smell differently horribly.
It'll live. I'll live. It'll be fine.
Nice.
And a Lunchable. Because, don't ask where that was smuggled in, but a Lunchable.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Anywho, so the location of the signal.
So you're going to the communications tower since the warden is personally escorting you there, and he grabs the comms tech and pulls his chair away from the computer to let your computer genius bring his exoskeleton up and interface with the system. Which,
So
by
just
the
to
way,
confirm, though, everybody's clear, scanning staff, the other prisoners, the other people that were part of the pirate ship, all them, that nobody.
I will give you the final answer after the scan here, but yes, everyone seems to be clear.
Okay.
I'll
And
assist again if you like.
And
Yes,
using
please.
the comm tower, since it has access to the entire planet security grid, you have a free upgrade, by the way.
Nice.
Blast that signal and blow up their end.
I'll take the free upgrade and the help, and let me know when.
And the assist is just going to give a blue, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Just a
sorry.
blue.
So I've got a blue and a upgrade, and someone just spent the last point. So 2 upgrades
We want to win this one.
against that same
Would be
formidable
nice.
4 purple.
Okay.
You got
Are we
this.
ready?
You totally got this.
I do. I do.
Nice.
As you take 1
Why you
point
say
of
that with
strain,
surprise?
as your articulated exoskeleton's hands are just going nuts on the keyboard with the clack, 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 clack. As you're just exhaustingly swimming in your little bubble trying to get things to go faster on the exoskeleton. And for 3 successes, you pinpoint there's this big, giant, 90-inch monitor there, and you're seeing the moon during the day, and then all of a sudden the scan grids the moon and then sprawls it out to a flat square picture. Then the grids close, and then the grids close again, and then the grids close a third time because there's 3 successes there, and your 1 point of strain is you farting in your tank and there's bubbles. Who knew Hyrule fart from their
Blub,
gills?
blub, blub.
And as it zooms up, you have a small picture of a little quarter-mile section of the moon, and it looks like there's spaceship parking. Totally looks like long extended stay spaceship RV parking. And one of those ships in that small quarter-mile area is the one that sent the signal to cause the electronics to explode. You are 100%, 99% and -1 strain, positive it's in that quarter-mile grid. If only you know of a spaceship that could get you up there real quick.
It might be the one that doesn't have the handicap placard and is parked in the handicap spot.
Well, we know where to go next.
And in fact, you can easily parcel it down to 3 ships in that little 15 ship parking space. 3 ships are your most likely ones, since their comm towers are pointed in this general direction. It's because most of them are picking up free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, who can blame them?
Yeah. So, I can't be positive, but I can narrow it down to 3.
Hey, that's better than we were 10 minutes ago.
Unfortunately, they all have doors.
You were worried that you were going to have to go to the edge of the solar system. Instead, you just have to go to the moon.
That's all right.
Which is not bad. It's not bad at all.
Nope, that's good. We'll
as the
narrower
warden is
search pattern.
Totally giving you guys the vigorous handshake, the 2-handed handshake, the mafia handshake. Thank you for uncovering this conspiracy.
Don't let any ships leave. Don't give clearance for any ships to leave the system.
As the warden just looks and says, I don't have that authority. My authority starts and ends at this facility. I can send a request, but I'm not sure how much credence that'll give since all of my people are here.
Can you get us any information on those 3 vessels?
Unfortunately, my authorization starts and ends here at the prison.
I just thought you might know something.
Unfortunately, I don't know. You Keleres agents are geniuses at what you do. You are magicians with your mechanical and real flesh and blood fingers. I am sure you have all the skills and greatness in that beautiful ship with that huge cannon to be able to take care of this situation and save our galaxy for the greatness of our twilighting time of the Empire.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let's get to it.
As
Keleres
his
helps those who
assistant
help
is
themselves.
totally giving you the dreamy, sorority girl eyes.
Yeah, and we'll pass on word about your operation here to the Keleres.
I hope you'll say only the best things.
Oh, you caught that, did you?
Well, he's our buddy now. He's our
Yeah.
buddy now.
Only the best things for my Keleres friends. You know what? I
Kinda
promise.
nod.
If you're ever in my facility, if you know what I mean, I'll make sure you get the best treatment on the house.
Mm.
No
Just kinda
payment
nod.
necessary.
Just nod. Don't commit to anything.
Including treason.
That's it. I will pass on word.
Okay, so you guys hop in the ship and are taking off?
I think so. I don't know of anything
Yeah.
else I want to
Yeah.
do while we're here.
No,
As you guys
I think we got what we needed.
totally hop in the ship and take off. You guys start to break through the atmosphere. The ship is shaking, it's rattling, it's rolling, it's going. And that's when it's a good place to wrap it up there.
Sweet.
So remember, kids, make sure you use the refresher because, well, for one, by the way, your refresher is full of a whole bunch of pink products.
Where'd you get all those?
She ordered
Do you
a
really wanna
makeup
know?
savant to be delivered to the prison landing pad. She
Oh,
now
that's
has
hilarious.
She has 3 savants helping her for different chores like fingernails, massage,
Jesus.
laundry.
Yeah.
On the
I'm
plus
fine with
side,
that.
High Command said she's your problem for now.
Yeah.
Technically, she's a diplomat assisting from the Letnev barony on her
Well, she
own
has-
recognizance.
And she hasn't
Right.
caused any problems yet, so it's all good.
Though we might want to do some additional checking on her too.
Ooh, you thought about that, did you?
I did.
As our bird's craning his neck, to you guys it looks like he's just craning his neck, and he's actually gesturing to put the scanner on her, do you guys?
We never did check the back of her neck because, of course, we never thought about that.
Nobody
So
did ever look at her back of her neck, did they? Things that make you go,
exactly.
Make you go,
And our swordsman never got close enough to get some bound chicka wow wow James Bond time.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really don't want to discuss details with her at this point or around her with what exactly we know and where we're going to go look and why until that does happen.
Interesting. I like where this thought is going. Okay, so
sorry.
definitely a good place to wrap it up. Even more paranoia running about. I like more paranoia.
I'm a suspicious bird.
Hey, everyone is a genetically modifying space wizard until proven otherwise.
Damn straight.
You have a proud culture of keeping flesh-mending space wizards at bay.
That's right.
Your religion is so important about that. The freaking Empire just said, you know what? You be you, and we'll leave you be. You do your job. We know what you're talking about. We beat those assholes. We don't want them back either.
We just went from ass into frickin' space to finding them little bastards, the L1 bastards, to here. So they're here. So yeah, anything's possible now. So damn straight.
I mean, come on. You would love the L1Z1 net if you could get into it.
Right? So the inevitable end of the session question.
Yep.
And what's that?
I know you know what we're looking for.
What would you be wanting at the end of the session? You got.
Well, we obviously already got 7,000 credits, so
Hey, got 7,000 credits. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I will totally say, since you guys did complete the plot of who the real, first mate was, since you guys murdered the captain and got no answers there, you definitely
Right.
you're getting 20 points because you wrapped that shit up.
Wow.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, if I recall, I one-shotted that captain.
Yes, you did, and no one took the body, and nobody asked any questions of him. You just murdered him.
Well, we left one way behind, so nobody suspected L1Z1.
And it may not be L1Z1. It's very similar to their technology.
Yeah.
I mean, then
Yeah.
it burst into fire. You haven't seen L1Z1 tech burst into fire like that. That's a new one.
Trouble at the mill.
It's what happens when your science guy pokes it with a probe and it's a lithium battery and he makes that contact. By the way, kids at home, never stab your cell phones.
And
you don't even have to do that anymore to get them to catch fire. They just kind of do it sometimes.
And before I forget, Jim, like as a group, could you check benchmark number 5 of mine and let me know if it applies, as a whole with the group or not?
If it's the one I think it is, it probably does. Let me check. And I will totally throw it out there, by the way. If you get a chance to read or listen to the Twilight Imperium books, their stories are very basic because basically it's like one of their old gamer staff writing the books, but they do have fun, interesting adventures on them. The 3 books that I've read so far all chain together and have the same 3 characters in all 3 books running into each other in a actual timeline. It comes down to the human coalition member hating the Letnev chick. And then
That's
the Federation Soul
accurate.
chick falling for the Letnev chick. Even though the human chick is all about, the human Federation of Soul chick is a merc who does whatever she wants when she wants. But the stories are pretty cool. And they bring up some interesting things like, you guys know the fungi, the mold alien race that's not really playable because...
Arborec.
Yep. Apparently, in one of the stories, there's a rogue spore of the Arborec that was made to ask the question, how would you win the galaxy? And it decided it would do it by making mind control spores like the L1Z1 and infest everybody.
Fun.
Right.
Except, of course, the spore went and did its experiment to answer the question. You don't just ask a question and not expect to get an actual answer.
Yeah.
I would say it has not been cracked yet.
What's that?
Your number 4?
1, 2, 3. I mean the one after that. As as part of a group.
No, that wouldn't count directly for you because he did it on his own.
Okay, so it wasn't like a collaborative kind of thing.
Yeah, this was him
Okay.
spotting it, and he called the guards out, and the guards are like, "Oh shit, guys, put your money in the hat. We're paying off this guy to shut the fuck up. He's a Sahar. We've heard about them. Let's make some racial stereotypes."
Hey, an accurate stereotype.
Still, you feel dirty about it just because it's true doesn't matter.
I don't feel dirty about it. It's like white people not being able to jump. It's just true.
It's just some things you just have to accept.
But I have transmitted full reports of the prison to both the Argent Flight and Keleres.
Oh, damn.
I told him I would pass on word.
Yep,
Of his
it was no
operations,
lie.
Just I added a separate little transmission to the Argent Flight as well, just in case they have any dealings.
Because you never know.
As well as information along the suspected 1Z1, which I don't send to Keleres, but I do send to Argent.
You don't send that report to Keleres?
I'll add an addendum to his report, basically saying that if.
Well, no, mine's private. There's no addendum. It's your own.
Oh, well.
We all make our separate reports to the Keleres, to whoever.
Basically, mine
it's
is
like Big
just
Brother. You've got a private closet for reporting. You each have your 15 minutes in the closet.
7 minutes of heaven. But you're actually just reporting back to your race.
So, I mean, I'm going to give a fairly accurate appraisal of it, but I will say that, dropping my name will open doors here. Hey, that triumph, he's a recurring ally now.
As your superiors are like, hey, dude, we all got somebody at the prison that we know. In the bars, behind the bars, we all know somebody there.
Sweet.
So you now have also a prison where you can make people disappear if you really want to, without getting the Keleres involved.
True.
Well, that's handy.
Wait, you guys didn't already have one of those?
Your own Guantanamo Bay. And what's worse is the guards will start the rumor of, oh, dude, they dragged that guy into that interrogation room, and you should have seen what we found when we opened that door after they were done with him. His head was a grease stain from the floor to the wall to the ceiling.
Like they lit it on fire from the inside.
Yeah, from the window to the wall.
It's funny because it's true.
And that guy was
somebody died and we didn't even touch him.
Yep.
We're that good.
It's our Hylar. He killed him with his mind.
Power of my mind.
See how bulbous his head is?
Right?
He's got
the
some use for it.
What's that? Aliens from Mars or whatever? Mars attacks? or was it scanners?
Scanners.
Oh, scanners, yeah.
Oh, boy. All right.
Hey, you're
good
another
job, all.
step closer.
Yes. Success. Well, gents, that's it for me.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Real
Good
quick,
night, y'all.
Yep, good night.
Thank you much.
Yep.
And
if you get a chance to load up that character on the Emporium.
Oh, yeah. And
the spelling of the name I had to I'll have to correct it, but I think you'll get the gist.
And do we have Android tomorrow?
We do have Android tomorrow.
All right.
I was just going to throw it out there.
Is it?
Some of you guys tomorrow.
I thought it was yesterday. Or, I mean, last week.
No.
Okay, cool. I wouldn't.
Nope. So I'm looking at the tag, and the last activity was on the 14th. I was like, that's 14 days ago.
Yep, because you guys finished the mission. Mostly.
Mm-hmm. Mostly.
Sweet.
Now you know that her old mentor may still be alive somewhere. Out in the meat market.
Yeah.
The meat market.
You're going to find a man in the meat market. Can I play the sound?
At the man in the meat market.
Can I play the soundtrack for God? My brain just blinked. It's got to be midnight. The "It's Raining Men" is the soundtrack for Hunt a Man in the Meat Market.
All right.
Yeah.
I will see you guys tomorrow then.
All right.
Yep.
Have a good night or morning, I guess, for you now. Well, it's morning for us now.
3:09 in the morning.
All right. Well, we'll see you shortly.
Yep.
Yeah.
See ya.
So no, the character I made is Dr. Kelvor, a Mr. Handy robot doctor. So it's Dr. I spelt it Kilvor, but I looked it up. It's like, Kelvor. So Kelvorkian.
He will totally give you a mercy killing, just because. Sometimes
just a concept.
When you don't have the meds, it's just safer to put them down and save the medication. Triage at its best.
Yeah, they didn't have any good meds though, or the drugs. They didn't have any like lethal drugs, unfortunately.
Yeah, the poisons and stuff.
Yeah, I was looking like, ah, damn. But he does carry several. I wanted to get a dart gun, but they're freaking 500 credits, so I could use
Hey, if you're
use it
gonna
to shoot people. But
yeah, if you're gonna do like they did in the show, where she's using the hypo gun,
yeah,
totally look through ciphers and masks for Star Wars, and you could steal the meds. I mean, because the
okay,
meds
I'll
and the
look at some of
poisons.
those too. But yeah,
Just remember, the more
yeah,
lethal, the easier its resilience check is.
right. No, I mean at this point it's okay. He's trained in range light for to get a dart gun when down the road.
Sometimes you
And
gotta
he's trained
medicate
in
a fool, running down the hallway.
yeah, and then he has melee because the med kit. He got an emergency med kit which comes with a knife. So I'm like, so he'll knife people if he has to fight. But he does have several. I did pick up with what I could for the money. He's got some basic meds. I got like 15 units because they're like one each of the coyote tobacco chew, which is like a real minor drug, but
Yeah, the chaw.
I forget what it. Yeah, but it has a little bit of an effect. And then Radex, Radaway, only could get one of those. And then Mentats. And that's all I could get for drugs. But yeah, he'll be kind of a drug dispenser as he picks up more meds. Plus, he's probably will dabble in creating.
Oh, look, I'm going to make a cocktail.
Exactly. So, and then when he can pick up, right now, like I said, just as a knife, but when he can pick up a dart gun or find a dart gun, he'll go to being able to shoot. So,
Eventually go, look at this venomous creature. If I properly harvest it with a survival roll, I can save the venom.
yeah, the drugs I bought, there was a couple I wanted to get, but I'm like, that takes like giant ant venom. Okay, well, we don't have that probably. So,
Have it yet.
some of the stuff that were surface
oriented
mixtures.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he'll just have to find it later.
All of a sudden you'll say, hey, this thing would be great put with that thing. Let's go hunting.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if somebody decides to be a doctor, then I'll move on. But it was just something that came to mind. It's like when you mentioned Mr. Handy, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that could kind of be fun. A Mr. Handy doctor for the vault.
Totally do the Dr. Ball thing.
Oh yeah, one of his skills is charm. So he's very sociable and friendly.
He's got that extra charisma to convince you to let me do this surgery. You don't need that appendage.
Yeah, I mean he's not good at it, but he's trained in it. So that's one thing that's cool. Robots get six. Robots get 6 that they start with a rank.
Yeah, with the skills. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh damn. So
robots get to front load on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not having to worry about radiation and poisons. It's just kind of a thing.
Radiation, poison, don't have to eat, don't have to drink, so I don't have to worry about getting any of those. So, but he'll be happy to shoot people up and medicate them and help them so they can survive in the wilderness. Now, they might become addicted, but hey, I'm happy to shoot them up and help them.
If you'd like, I can expose you to enough radiation to make you a ghoul.
Yeah, I went with my not strength, whatever the other one is it's called, but I went with lucky, so character may reroll any one skill check or initiative order roll once per session, and then chronic pessimist.
Oh. By the way, speaking of lucky, I actually saw this video. I'm not sure if it's legit or if it's just something someone spliced together, but they're saying in Fallout 4, if you max out your luck skill at character creation, put everything in luck and nothing else, when
Uh-huh.
you go down into the vault during the cinematic and you get put in the cryopod and your wife and kid get put in a different pod and you wake up 100 years later, when someone opens up, they shoot your wife and steal your child and close her pod and put you back to sleep. Spoiler alert, that's the first 5 minutes. Because when you get out
Right.
of your pod, you're hunting for your child. Well, if you max out your luck, you go out, you open the vault, you get in the elevator that takes you back to the surface, and the kid just
Uh-huh.
happens to be standing right there. You
Oh,
hug
no
him,
shit.
and you go back inside to cryo, and it's
Oh,
game
God.
over. I seriously
Oh.
doubt that's legit, but it's funny as hell.
That would be funny, yeah.
Because the whole point of the game is you hunting around the entire map of where the
Oh, no,
fuck's
yeah.
my boy.
Like, oh, you got lucky, there he is. Done.
Yep.
Like, what
You got-
the hell?
You got super lucky.
That
You
would be
found your
funny.
boy just standing outside the vault.
That would be funny, though, for a scenario in the game, a little Easter egg or whatever, so.
Yep, that would be it. And it's a total Fallout tongue-in-cheek finale, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, well, let me restart my character and play again.
So that was a quick
Yeah.
5-minute game. Thank you very much.
Right? Yeah. So I figure, yeah, he's lucky, but he's a chronic pessimist, so he's C3PO. Oh, well, that would be a very bad thing to touch that water. It could cause radiation damage and injure your skin and cause.
I'm glad I don't have skin.
Yes, so yes, he's the chronic pessimist.
Just to fuck with people because you can.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's his flaw. He's always warning everybody the dangers.
Danger, Will Robinson.
So we'll see what everybody else creates, but he should be fun.
Yep. I know they're slightly terrified now. It's great. And we do gotta pick, like, where in the world is our vault? I was joking with Kelly because we were playing some WoW afterwards, and I'm like, you could even do a Rock of Gibraltar floating vault on poles over the ocean. Maybe the floods came through and your vault is now underwater.
Right?
I mean, it would be
That
kind of
suck,
cool.
especially when you open the door. That's going to be a bad day.
Hopefully, there's enough equipment to safely open the doors as you're slowly adding water to your vault from the bottom up. It's like, drain it to the bottom level, sacrifice it like Venice.
Right. Yeah. No, the Disney one was kind of cute.
Yeah, the Disney one's a cute idea because then you have some interesting landmarks whenever you're coming home.
Yeah. Base of Mount Rushmore.
Very Buck Rogers there.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, the vaults are all U.S. though, right?
Technically, yes, but I'm sure we could. I mean, unless you guys take something cheesy like the vault is on the moon, then that becomes a totally different game.
Yeah,
but you could, because I was just throwing ideas out to Kelly while we were wowing. I was like, you could do, if you've ever watched the 100, I totally did years ago a Rifts game before 100 ever came out. You're on a station and it dumps your ass out of the station back to the planet. Like the vault would do of opening up and sending you out. So you now have a station you can't get back to, but it can supply drop you.
Yeah.
Like I joked years ago, a plot line for that for a book called The Angel and the Badge Man. The idea would be there was this genetically engineered child up in the station that the AI spits her to Earth because, well, the station's falling apart. It's not fit for human habitation.
Right.
And she hooks up with the dude on the planet who's basically a marshal because he's got his dad's cool gun. It's a Judge Dredd style super gun that requires you to wear the badge to work the gun, because without the badge, the gun stops working.
Oh, right.
So you have
kind of like DNA, but badge linked instead.
Exactly. And his dad's dying thing was to take the gun and set it to take new user settings and gave it to his son. So you've got this good guy running around Western style, and you meet Angel, who, when she descends to the planet, she's wearing a power armor suit that uses electromagnetics to land safely. So you have the beautiful magnetic corona, like wings. as she descends, and that's the pretense of the two of them getting together.
That's cool.
Because if she can get to a certain place, she can correct the software and save the station. Because, it's father.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing too. I mean, we could always go, we don't know, but and when we come out, we'll be surprised because that was all hidden and lost in our vault where exactly we were because we're, how many generations down the line?
Yeah, at least 5 generations. I mean, who really cares when you're surviving the apocalypse of what was outside? As long as there's a Red Rocket diner.
And you could it could be we are getting ejected from the vault because of some alarms goes off and it's like, oh, the vault's irradiated, everybody must evacuate now.
Or worse, that's the experiment. It says you gotta leave.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the experiment's like, oh, gotta leave, go now. Like, oh shit. So now everybody's standing around outside the vault, and we got to figure out how to, what's around us as a scouting party.
Yep. It's like you need to go find habitation. Don't worry, our sensors say you should have at least a 25% survival rate. Oh, and if your Twitch account and Amazon account is connected together, apparently you can get Fallout 76 for PC for free this month.
I already have it, so.
Yeah. So in case you didn't, I was just checking my announcements on Twitch, and apparently this month it's a free code for Fallout 76, which I'm totally like, which computer
people playing that? I saw some of my friends on my Steam list that are playing Fallout 4, which is pretty popular. I haven't seen Vegas yet, but seems like they've gone back to 4.
Yeah, apparently they did a bunch of updates for 4. Kelly was cute because she was like, so are you gonna get back to playing that one Fallout game I used to watch you play? Because she used to watch, because she doesn't like console controller games because button coordination, but she likes watching it for the story. Which, like I told her, honey, don't watch me play it. Just go watch the downloads on someone's YouTube channel, so you can get the story without having to commit 7 to 8 hours of your life to playing it. Because sometimes on some of the games I ain't got time, so I can just pop in YouTube and watch them do a commentary-free run-through of it and get the story.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, what was it? Dishonored. I still didn't get to play the second one, but I'm just like, screw it. Gonna watch the video, see how it plays through.
Yeah, I got that. I didn't get too far in. It was kind of like, But Fallout's fun. The stories are always fun.
Oh, heck yeah, and all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, when I popped in, I did download and pop into 76, and there was a handful of people in the server because each server is 25.
Yeah, and that's still a lot of people to run into.
Oh no, it is, but it's pretty good size. So I only noticed it showed 4 people on at the time. So it wasn't as full as I thought it might have been, but
that's good. Because that can get real crowded quick if it's an MMO style game.
Oh yeah, and I can see people getting really crazy, especially a bunch of these new people going, "Oh, I love this. Let me play Fallout for the first time," and then want to go around killing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like PvP and WoW.
Yeah, 76 is all right. Like I said, you can build a a base, and it's a matter of finding the recipes, building things, and building it up, and you can relocate it and stuff. But that's where you go and do your crafting and extra storage and all that stuff, which is different than the regular games.
Yeah,
the single player storyline games a little bit. So
congratulations, here's your bench.
Yeah, but there's some pretty cool landmarks and stuff. Because I got it, I think during beta. So I've got a few hours in it off and on. So, but it is pretty tough compared to some of the others. I actually popped in, and the area I was in was like an old fort, and I was coming out and diddy bopping down the road, and I had power armor. I ended up not being able, and I think it's over by my. I think I left it at where my little station is, but I don't have the power cells for it right now. So I'm just running around in my suit and vault suit. Yeah, and I like ran into like all of a sudden I had lasers coming out of like the trees and it
crap.
and it's like 5 little little droids with like 3 little claw-like legs shooting lasers. I'm like, fuck, I couldn't do shit. They just like ate me up. I'm like,
Cut
well,
you down.
okay, that was fun.
I know. In 4, I've got 2 suits but no cells, and I'm like, that's where I ended up stopped playing for a while because I'm just like, I need some more cells to kill super mutants.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, there's a huge super mutant area, and that's where I lost like a ton of shit and a lot of power and all that. Was trying to. It was like I think like a dam area, and yeah, just loaded
you
with
got
super,
to the dam, yeah. Where
like loaded full of super mutants. It's like holy shit.
Yeah, that's where it was the Brotherhood's last stand on that one.
Yeah, so yeah, it ate up all my power trying to keep playing with that, and I was like, I should have just moved on.
I'll come back to you guys in a few more levels.
Yeah, because they're a bitch. So I don't think I've seen ghouls in the game though.
Yeah,
Just not yet.
I think that they're a lot more rare in that one.
Yeah.
I know Kelly was funny when we watched Fallout, and she's like, "Is that yes? Is that yes?" They are
If they're
doing
missing
it
a nose,
justice.
it's a ghoul.
Yep. If they're missing an ear, a nose, or they have a tree growing out of their face, it's a ghoul.
Yeah, I mean, nose tends to be the first thing to go.
Yep.
Like,
well, think about it. It's cartilage.
Frostbite, any of that stuff, it's just this appendage of flesh sticking out with cartilage.
It's a speed bump waiting to go.
Yep. So yeah. I don't know. I love the setting. I think this group will be fun. Hopefully Aaron's okay with it because he was the only one that didn't vote for the Fallout.
Yep.
In his selection, so hopefully he'll be good.
Oh wait, this is that video game. It's not Helldivers. Democracy.
Hopefully he'll be good. I think he'll be all right.
Oh yeah, he's a great role player anyway. I mean, regardless, he'll be able to hit the ground running with character.
Yeah, I think he felt more comfortable going fantasy maybe, but especially since he's playing a gnome at 6'4" or whatever he said his height is. Yep. I'm like, yeah, I would hate to run into that gnome.
I feel sorry for him at the LARP where everyone is talking to his belt buckle to look in character, talking to a gnome. Don't mind the fact my face is looking at your crotch. I'm talking to your gnomish belt buckle sized head.
Right.
What a pointy red hat you have, Mr. Gnome.
Yes, a 6 foot. Well, yeah, you had a pointy hat to it. Shit. I mean, 6 foot, 6'4" gnome with another 3 foot pointy coned hat. Like, holy shit. That's a big gnome.
Boy, in the realms, they grow them big over there.
He's a very special species of gnome that nobody knew about.
To that I say, nope.
Yeah. So.
Are you sure you weren't adopted, sir?
Right. Yeah, I don't think this is the right lineage for you. Somebody's not telling you the truth.
Did the village lose their barbarian?
So, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what the two at least come up, what they think they want to play.
Yep.
So, but I figure, like I said, I'm easy. I figure I'll let them pick and then I'll go from there. But I'll probably create a couple concepts as we go, like I did the one. Because when he started talking robot, I'm like, I'm not a big droid person, but
starting out of the gate, droids are really nice because you get a nice fluff of skills. You can cherry pick your stat. Just warn the group, don't count on me for anything else, because anything else, my deck
Yeah.
was crap.
I mean, I made them fairly rounded. I mean, I got 4 intellect, 2 cunning, 1 willpower, and 2 presence. So, but then the the robot has like a bunch of shit. So like inorganic, since they're organic, they gain benefits for curing wounds with stim packs or a medicine check, or don't gain. But robots can recover wounds and strain naturally by resting as their systems repair. So I can get some like healing just resting actually. So.
Yep.
Metal body increased soak by 1. That's nice.
That's always
Extra
good.
soak. Networked intelligent, so a robot adds automatic success to its intellect and willpower based checks for each other friendly character of the same species robot within medium range to a maximum of 3 successes.
You're borrowing some of their processor power.
Yeah. And then robots don't need to eat, sleep, or breathe and are unaffected by toxins and poisons. And then special ability, after selecting their career, the robot may train 1 rank in 6 of the 8 skills instead of 4. So, I mean, yeah, not bad.
Yeah, and the nice thing too is, guess who's going to be picked for sentry duty every night?
Yeah.
But you
Well,
don't need to heal.
I can scalpel them to death.
I'm gonna shank you.
So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But it's funny because I'm like looking, going, well, okay, hacker, so that's intelligent. Mechanic, that's intelligent. Oh well, medic, that's intelligence. So that's like a whole bunch of intelligent people. Because hacker's kind of important, actually.
Yeah. For when it comes down to doing your thing, you want someone that has that skill at least.
Yeah, because that's like getting into a lot of the computer systems, getting through a lot of doors that are computer. Because I remember, there was some lock picking, which would be our mechanic guy, but then there was a lot of stuff where you needed the computer side, and if you didn't have points into that, you were like, well, guess I'm not getting into that safe, or I'm not getting into that computer, or I'm not getting through that door because that door's
electronic
or electronic, not mechanical. It's like, so you kind of like, okay, am I a lockpicker or am I a hacker? so yeah, it's like 3 intelligent classes basically that are all kind of important: the medicine, the hacking, and the mechanics. So we'll see. But looking forward to it.
Yep.
All
right.
It's
it is that
12:30.
time.
We'll see you in a few hours.
Yep. What? 12, 14 hours, something like that. 15 hours. Yeah. So we actually get some sleep.
2 or 3?
3 o'clock.
3. Okay, yeah. Well, if you can sleep, I've been sleeping like shit lately, so.
I actually caught a cat nap before the game, which was nice because last night I woke up at like 3 and could not get back to bed. Eventually Kelly woke up, so I'm just like, I give up.
I mean, I lay down, but I toss and turn. I don't sleep well. I wake up exhausted, and I'm waiting for a call to get scheduled to do a sleep study and everything.
Well, hopefully they'll get that knocked out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm like, well, my nose is better. I can breathe, but I'm still sleeping like shit. So maybe now that even though I'm breathing better, maybe
sleep apnea.
There's still sleep apnea and probably breathing more oxygen through, which is causing more restriction because of flow or whatever. But yeah, I've just been like, why am I so exhausted? Plus, I mean, it could be the allergy shots along with all the allergens in the air.
Right now, everything is horrendous.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I toss and turn. I feel like shit. And then the doctor sent me 3 Ambien that's just kind of sitting there, but I'm saving those for the sleep study, because I told him, I'm like, I have a hard time sleeping at home, much less when I go travel. The first night or two, I don't sleep well usually because it's a new environment. So going to somewhere and having them hook up a bunch of wires to my face and my head and my legs and my arms and bands across my stomach and chest, and then go
that's
lay down and
go.
and then lay down, go to sleep, relax. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So he sent me 3 Ambien for when I do the sleep study.
Oh, apparently
So, that's
Fallout
scary
2
stuff.
is also getting a reboot too.
Oh, really? I have Fallout Tactics as well, but it's too old and won't run on my system. So
Yeah, it needs an emulator to run.
yeah,
Which sucked because that was a cool game. I mean,
yeah,
I think
because
the big thing is they didn't like it breaking canon, so they're just like poo-pooing it away.
Yeah, because I like turn-based games a lot.
Yeah, are you kidding? Final Fantasy Tactics is still one of the best.
Yeah, because I like the ability to play and not have to be like constant focus, but I can watch like TV and play that because I can take my turn, take my time doing what I got to do.
Yeah,
not
you're not
constantly
on the
being
clock.
on vigilance. Because if I'm gonna sit and watch this for a second, then shit walks up and massacres me. It's like, yeah, well, that sucked.
That and like on the ones I really like are the auto ones that have the auto feature. So it's like, hey, I don't even have to bother with this. I'll just let it play itself.
Yeah, I mean,
usually
those
it
I
will
do
get you
some,
killed.
but yeah, those I right some, but no, I like the turn-based where it's like, okay, I'm cruising. Okay, combat, and you move everybody, then you fire, you do your things, and I can be distracted and play.
Yep. Though one of my favorites is still Legend of the Dragoon. Because it was turn-based, but when you attacked, it had a countdown timer that was basically a big box spiraling down and shrinking to a small box. And depending on how perfectly you timed the button push with the square connecting, the more crit you do.
Really?
Or if you're too late, you miss entirely.
Interesting. So you still had to respawn within some time frame. Yeah.
Once you set up your group's attacks and it goes fight, it does a little cinematic of getting you ready.
Yeah.
And that's when the box starts spiraling and you have to time it so it feels like you're playing a side-scrolling fighter, but it's a turn-based game.
That's cool.
With just a moment of panic attack.
Yeah. You ever play the XCOMs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever played the XCOM board game?
I have not.
That thing was a nightmare. I only played partial, so it uses a phone app.
Oh dear.
And it's multiplayer, so you have people playing different aspects. So you have somebody that's like the scientist that's committing research. You got somebody and you have certain resources. You got like a banker person, you got a command person, and it goes through the phases, and everything's timer. So it's like, you got 20 seconds to decide what research you're doing. It's like, oh shit. It's like, and you're trying to work together, but at the same time you got your roles, but you're talking, but you only got like 20 seconds to do this, 30 seconds to do this part. You get 40 seconds to commit to your combat zones that you're wanting to, it's like, it was holy shit, man.
One of the phone app games I played that we really liked was Expedition. It's basically you're playing D&D with cards, but the phone app is running the actual GM's job. So like when it comes to a fight, you read the text and you hit ready, and all of a sudden the phone will count down 3, 2, 1, and it's a timer waiting for each player to touch the phone screen to say that they're ready to play. And depending on how long it takes people to get their shit together to pick their ability, put the card down and touch the phone, is how much damage you take against the bad guys. or how likely you are to hit. So it uses that tactile.
Yep.
Pick a card, put it down, touch the phone. And if
Yeah.
like one person's got analysis paralysis on it, they don't put a card down until forever, and it's like, oh, somebody in the group's gonna completely miss on their turn, and then it'll say like, and you take this much damage, and you take this much damage, and you take this much damage.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. I mean, that's the first time I played one like that with a phone app, aspect to it, and it was like, holy shit, this timer stuff, like, oh my god.
Yep. All of a sudden, it goes back to the old, God, what was that board game with the timer? We're trying to get the pieces in before it pops.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
Yeah, all the different, like the square peg in the round hole. You had all the different shape. Yeah, what the hell was that? And I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was one of the best timer games that made you bust ass to get it done.
Yeah. So if you ever see the XCOM board game, thinking about it, it's
just walk
you gotta
away.
have a crew that's good and knows what's going on. Because it was tough. I forget what I think I had the science, and I mean I knew the game just because I played the computer game, but trying to figure out as we're going with the timer, like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Which one? Wait, what? Oh crap!
Didn't mean to hit that
and of
one.
course, you're each one's committing resources that the banker is managing, and it was like, oh my god. It's like, okay, this is too much stress.
We've turned regular accounting into a game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was cool, but it was like, holy cow. So, all right, we'll see you 3:00.
Yep, see you 3:00 tomorrow.
All right, today.
Yep, today. Oh, damn, it is. Oh, crapper. Okay, later, dude.
All right, bye.